Welcome back, everybody, to 5-Day Rentals. We are the Video Store podcast. And tonight I have the great... what is this? This is a great opportunity to open up my category called Wet Ass Busey. Hopefully the movies of Gary Busey, but I mean, you can use some other Buseys as well. We'll see what the boys do. My name's Laundry Dan, and I'll be taking you through Surviving the Game from 1994, directed by Ernest R. Dickerson. But I can't do it alone. I have my two buddies with me, two guys that would never waste a pack of cigarettes in their lives. It's Bones and Kron. Welcome.
Just got off a running machine.
What?
That was a long 20 minutes on a running machine.
Yeah, that's what you call them, dude.
You only did 5 minutes.
I thought it was 30 minutes.
You only did 5.
It was $20 for 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I can only go do 20.
Oh,
well, you're only getting $15 then.
Okay, that's fine.
Fuck that. Give him 10.
Dan's right. We set standards here.
Keeping with the current trend, I'm twice the size as Mr. Ice-T, so I feel okay with what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have dreads, so...
Yeah,
that's true. Your head is lighter.
And you weren't wearing those homeless clothes. Those are heavy.
I mean, I'm carrying weight elsewhere. If you wanted to argue like aerodynamics or something, yes, I'm a little bit more streamlined, but it is a running machine, so I'm staying in place.
Don't bring up big dicks. We got a guest tonight. Come on.
Thank you.
Already. 2 minutes in.
I think if you had a really heavy head, it'd be harder to run.
Like your head or your head?
You'd go off balance more.
I don't know which head you're talking about.
I think we need to go back to the dreads. How does running with dreads work? Do dreads slow you down? Are they full of weight?
I mean, I would imagine they'd be heavier, right?
I've never had them, though. Have you guys had dreads before?
No, I've always wanted them.
Really? Always? Like even now?
Not like all, but like I knew if I got the receding hairline, so the hair's not going long.
I have no hairline, so I would go for like one. If you could give me one dread, I'd be happy.
I mean, I could probably dread this, but
you could.
I don't know if that's. I don't know. We were talking Forrest Gump before. I mean, is that cultural appropriation?
No, dude. It's like, just a hairstyle.
I'm pretty sure it's.
No.
I think it'd be a lot shorter though if you dreaded it, right?
I think if I do get dreads, I think I'm gonna grow them out and then I'm gonna just take like 1.5 inches off and then get really pissed when people don't notice that I cut my hair.
Mm-hmm. Think about how many people have dreads and they don't know they have dreads.
Oh.
They probably know.
Nah, I mean,
if you can feel your head, you'd know.
Do you wash dread? I don't. That's a whole different.
You do,
podcast.
But not as frequently. And you have to do it carefully, and preferably sipping a glass of red wine.
Oh,
Bones. I think if you're worried like his dreads a step too far, I say like start with just like a strand of beads and see how that goes.
Bro, I'm still in my Vikings run right now.
Yeah, that's true.
The wife is constantly offering to braid the hair, and I've called the bluff several times, and she's like, "No, you wouldn't like it." It's like, "Well, quit bringing it up."
You got up earlier, and I think I seen a bird skull in the back there.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's
what's a bird skull?
A dead bird just woven in there.
Oh! I thought it was like an American slang term.
No, we'll get there.
We could start. Okay. We could start it though. You could start telling your Canadian brethren. I learned this new term.
Yeah.
Bird skull.
Guys, I was on this crazy podcast. They started talking about fucking bird skulls. Holy shit!
I mean,
what is a bird skull? Then?
We've talked about substantially worse things.
I had to get there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Bird skull.
And it's got to have something to do with hair, I guess. For this.
See. When I was in high school, referring to a woman as a chicken head meant that she was like easy to go down. So I think that's probably like a safe place to start. BirdSkull.
It sounds too close to chicken hawk, and so I just want to change the subject.
Okay, is that a Canadian thing I'm unfamiliar with?
Don't Google it. So BirdSkull, when you said BirdSkull, I actually thought you meant that you had like a balding patch like in the back, and that was the nickname for it.
Oh, that's a good one too.
I'd
though.
fucking shoot myself.
You would.
Really?
Live on the podcast, hopefully.
Yeah.
With so many downloads.
That'd be a weird balding pattern, right? If you started in the back and it went forward.
Oh no, but that's how it happens for a lot of people. Like
it starts to thin
top
on
here.
Well, you
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
top. I
Yeah.
guess I was thinking like neck, and then
Oh.
it just slowly like migrated up your entire head.
Business in the front, sadness in the back.
Yeah.
Dan, who is that talking?
Folks, if you're hearing this wonderful voice and you're like, who is this guy? Well, guess
Who
what?
dat ho? Oh,
He is a writer. He's a fellow podcaster. He's a musician. He's one of the best follows you can have on Letterboxd. Folks, all the way from the great north, it's Bob McCully from the Split Your Head podcast. Welcome to 5 Day Rentals.
Hi, Bob.
hi, Bob. I mean, I'm Bob. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I was doing like these hand movements to be like, big up, my man, and then I realized this isn't a video podcast. And
It is for us, though.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
And that intensity carries over.
What the? Was that planned?
No, that's just the new Zoom update.
All
I mean,
for
mine,
you, baby.
Mine updated today. Can I do?
How do
Get
I
outta
do
here,
that?
Kron.
I think it's specific on your hardware.
Throw up a thumbs up, Bob. See if it's there. But
No.
come back a little.
Just Dan's,
Here?
I guess.
No, I don't think Canadian Zoom's got that yet.
I'm gonna give you one of these because
We're too busy getting free healthcare. Oh,
You've already brought up free healthcare. 5 minutes in. We
I,
really just called you on to maybe hope that you would have room for us to move in to hide us for maybe 4 years.
well, I do live in Toronto, where
That's fine.
everyone pays $5 million for a shoebox. So
Well, we're not
the answer
trying
is
to.
no.
We're not trying to pay to be there. We just want to be there for free
We'll do
at your
stuff
place.
around the
That's
house.
what we're all trying to do, baby.
Yeah, we'll BirdSkull if necessary.
Mhm.
We'll pay
I
our
thought,
way.
wait. So okay, so you'll have a balding spot.
I think it's. I think the way Bones is using it, it's when a balding man
Blows you.
gives you head.
When you see the BirdSkull on the back of the head, that's because
Okay.
that head's in your lap.
Do you like rub it, like for good luck?
That's probably
what you're
what's
into.
wearing the
Okay.
hair away.
You know what, guys? I think we came up with the. Okay, so a BirdSkull is when someone gives you head who is bald and you rub their head. I think we nailed it.
Yeah.
So let's email Dan Savage. Let him know to start working it into his.
Well, fuck
Let-
that. We trademarked that shit.
How many
No,
Pay
no.
us.
how many dirty emails a day is he getting from people thinking they've come up with?
He's probably using them. That's why he's. Yeah.
You mean like if someone stumped him yet? Is that what you're saying? Like,
No, I mean,
Dan,
his-
you can't figure this out.
His Gmail just be so nasty.
I think he probably has an assistant that he pays to filter out the really like scat driven stuff, Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. I mean, that's
How do I-
probably a good case for AI, right?
I want that job. No, don't let AI take it, dude.
Dan Savage's AI.
That's for me.
Oh, that's good.
Bob, please tell our listeners where they can find you each week, man.
Each week. I release, so I have a podcast called Split Your Head, and it's currently bi-weekly, so it's every other week. And you could find that on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music currently. There's also an Instagram page. I'm guessing I should send you links or something when
Oh,
we're
no. I follow you.
Well,
Oh,
we
no,
can
I
put
mean-
him. We can put him in the notes.
Oh, yeah,
I'll put 'em in.
it'll be
I'll
linked.
put them in the show description. Yes. I thought I asked him to be on the show.
Okay, back to square one. Split Your Head podcast. I'm also on Letterboxd, Instagram as Bob McCully. That's about it. That's all the doxing I'm gonna do for today.
It's a great letterbox. That's where I found you. So
Oh, cool.
been
Thank you.
following you for a few years, and
Oh, wow.
I think I don't know what movie it was, but I read a review from you, and I was like, does this guy have a fucking podcast? And I looked and it said Split Your Head, and I was like, oh, there we go. So
There we go.
and
Bada
the
boom,
rest
bada
is
bing.
history.
So far, yeah.
And Bob, I want to congratulate you for breaking walls down, going through the glass ceiling, the first Canadian guest for 5-day rentals.
And not the last.
Hopefully not the last. We're still trying to get Bon Jovi on.
He's
Mhm.
Canadian?
No, he's not. He's from New Jersey.
Oh, okay. That's kind of close to Canada though. New Jersey.
But all right, guys,
Close-
Bones,
closer than we
Kron,
are.
Bones, Kron, top Canadian guest, go.
Like Bob McCully.
Mhm.
Oh, this is great.
Kron, go.
Yeah, that's who I'd go with.
Alanis Morissette.
I would go with.
Oh. You're supposed to
the-
say Bob McCully.
I'd go
Oh,
with the Mountie from the movie The Mountie.
Brenden Fraser, he's Canadian?
Well,
Oh,
the
he is
character.
Canadian.
The character.
Is he really?
I want him.
Brenden Fraser's Canadian, isn't he?
Is Brenden Fraser Canadian?
I'm about to have to throw away a lot of DVDs, dude. If this is
Whoa,
true.
What do you mean?
No,
I'm gonna say yeah.
You think Brenden Fraser's
I
Canadian?
think
I'm going to
Canadian.
say no.
Okay, let me look it up.
All
Yeah,
right,
look it up,
Bones.
look it
Kron, what are you
Uh,
saying? Bet.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Canadian.
Bob?
Canadian.
Oh, I'm the only one here.
You
Uh
just
oh. An American Canadian actor.
Oh.
What does that
Oh,
mean?
you're okay.
Yeah, how's that work? Where was he born?
I'm looking it up.
Like right on the border.
He was born in Indiana to Canadian parents.
Whoa.
He's American.
Yeah, but he
Where was-
came from Canadian seed, bro.
Where was he raised?
I mean, Indiana, I don't. Oof.
Read the entire wiki, Bones.
When did he die?
It looks like he moved around a lot. So California, Washington, Seattle, Washington, to bring us to tonight's
Surviving
piece,
the game.
Yeah.
and Ottawa,
Oh.
Ontario.
Ottawa.
Oh.
There we
Also,
go.
some time in the Netherlands and Switzerland.
Whoa. What a childhood.
Yeah.
Was he like a military brat or something? What's going on?
Something looks like his parents did some Canadian Foreign Service for the Office of Tourism.
Oh, terrorist, huh?
Oh, okay.
And this is me just quickly scanning. So
Is his head gonna explode? Oh,
God, I
sorry.
hope
That
not.
was,
God, I
that
hope
was
not.
a little scanning joke.
Kron, I was referring.
Cronenberg, Canadian. Sorry.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
Kron, I was referring to Dudley Do-Right.
Okay.
Oh.
Is that
Hope-
the.
That's who I was thinking. Is there a movie
Yeah.
called The Mountie?
No, I was just
Isn't-
doing Dudley
No.
Do-Right. I know it's on Kron's list for season 3, so.
Isn't there one where he's a Mountie?
Dudley Do-Right.
Oh my
Yeah.
He was a
fucking
cartoon
God.
character.
Do you not
Yeah.
pay attention to anything that's said on this fucking show?
I'm going to see if there's a movie called The Mountie.
Of course there is.
Wasn't there a CBS show where there was like a Canadian Mountie
Yeah.
and like an American hard-nosed detective guy?
Yeah, as Due South?
Yes.
Yeah, with Paul Gross, I think, was the Mountie.
I
Is
guess
Paul
that
Grist-
I don't expect you to know that. Yeah.
there is the Mountie from 2011. This is not what I was thinking of.
Is
Is
it
it
a,
an
guess
action?
is it a red box?
It's it's available right now on Pluto TV, so probably a red box.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Redbox?
You don't have Redbox in Canada?
Well, we
It's
barely have red box here anymore,
Yeah.
Dan.
It's like a DVD kiosk. Like you can just go, like check a movie out and then bring it back when you're done.
And it's specific films that are rented out through the Redbox?
Are
Just
you
all of the DVD releases and Blu-ray releases.
it would have your mainstream stuff,
Okay.
and it'll also be like kind of regional because they're usually independently owned. But are you familiar with the production company? I want to say it's Sabian or Sabin.
Never heard of it. Oh, wait. Is that the Power Rangers company? Saban?
That's the toy.
It's close. I think, it's close. But, like this last decade run of like Bruce Willis direct to DVD, probably shot in Serbia over the course of a month.
Like him, I don't remember.
God damn it.
I don't know these movies.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
They're usually like it's
Covered
saying
one
something's like
hostage.
a red box is sort of a throwaway for it's going to be a lame action movie with maybe one older like Planet Hollywood level action star who's like sort of over the hump.
Okay.
Like a direct to video.
It's direct to video, yeah. Like
Yeah.
occasionally like
Wait.
Stallone would be in one, but he'd be above the title, but it would actually be like 50 Cent who is your lead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You know,
like
and it's-
Stallone will be in like 3 scenes maybe.
It's
and
all-
he's setting down the entire time.
All
Stuff
digital,
like
it's
that.
probably money
Yeah.
laundering. Yeah.
Mm.
So, Bob, when you go to McDonald's here in America, you go
Oh, no.
get your family their meals, and then usually there's a red box outside of the McDonald's, so where you can rent those types of movies.
Okay. Huh. I do feel like you're describing surviving the game in a way because the cast was made up of a lot of elderly action stars.
Mhm.
It's a
Yes.
beautiful cast.
But the difference would be that a modern day red box would have all these guys with a fraction of the budget and an international like crew.
Okay.
And the guy who directed it was probably French. And,
Oh.
like also not on film would be like all
Right.
digital squibs.
Yeah, I get you.
Kind of like the movie we covered last week.
Mhm. Yeah, it'll look like London Has Fallen if you've seen that movie.
No.
Don't
You
Bob.
could skip
No
it.
one.
Don't Bob.
Okay. I won't do it. Is Eric Roberts in any of these films? These Redbox films?
100%.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're talking my language.
I bet there's probably some substantial letterbox lists that are just like Saban films that somebody's put together.
But not Saban.
It's
You're going to end up buying a Power Rangers toy if you look
Yeah.
that up.
Saban
All right,
film?
guys. Bob, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it for coming here tonight and talking Surviving the Game from 1994. But we got to get started on this plot. Gentlemen, any more thoughts, prayers, anything for Surviving the Game before we get started?
Yeah, what was the name of the big guy who was just a head in a jar on Power Rangers? Is it Zod?
Zordon?
Zordon, yes.
Hell
That
yeah.
has nothing. I guess heads in jars to Surviving the. Okay, I'll let that slide, Kron.
Mhm.
You know, when the whole actors strike and writer strike happened last year, I remember the news came out that the actor that played Zordon was paid for 1 day of work, and they basically just reused that day of footage over and over and over again.
Damn.
And it's kind of like what's been going on with with actors and AI and everything. Like, you might just work one day, and then that's it. Sign your life away.
I mean, the guy's he's got to be in like 90% of the episodes, right?
He
It's
only got paid for
capitalism,
one day,
baby.
though. Yeah, which
That's
I
wild.
feel like this connects to surviving the game.
But wasn't Power Rangers like anytime they were in a suit and fighting, that was all from the original Japanese show anyway?
Right.
So
Yeah, totally.
Was it the Power Rangers guys that were in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like doing all the karate? Maybe
Wait.
not.
Oh, like the guys in the suits?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I'm sure there's some
Oh.
crossover.
Well, was the first one Golden Harvest or something? And it was like their biggest movie?
The
No.
first Power Rangers
No, the first Teenage
Secret of the
Mutant Ninja
Ooze.
Turtles.
was
No,
Golden
it was
Harvest?
Golden Harvest with New Line.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're talking
Yeah.
about the company. That's right.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were talking about the title. I was like, what are you talking about?
Power Rangers Golden Harvest. I'd watch that.
Mhm.
Trademark.
Oh, okay.
Gentlemen, surviving the game right now on Letterboxd is sitting at a 3.1. I want you to look me deep in the eyes, and I want you to rate my Letterboxd. Bob, all we're doing here is we're going to guess what I'm going to give this movie.
I'm scared.
Bones, hit me.
Don't be. It means nothing. Dan, I've got you at a 3.5.
Kron Howard, give it to me, baby.
Dan, I'm going to go 3.0.
Bob?
And I guess what you rated it. That's what
Yes,
it is.
sir. That's
Yeah.
what you do.
You're at a disadvantage, yes, but
4.
Bob, 4.0, 3.4. What the fuck am I talking about? All right, gentlemen. We will find out at the end of this episode what I rated this. But until then, we start in a back alley with some smooth jazz with our lead, Jack Mason, played by none other than world famous badass rapper Ice-T. He's in search of some food. He's homeless. He's living on the streets. Sliced in with this is a group of men hunting something in the wilderness. Mason, our lead here, he calls for his dog when he finds some food. His dog sees a cat, he runs out, he gets hit by a taxi. This kills this dog. Add it to the list.
This taxi guy, he says, like his line reads are, "Is this your dog? What about my money? Where's my money? How am I going to get my money? I need my money."
The
He says
lady that
money
gets out of
8 times in 3 seconds. It's wild.
the lady that gets out of this cab is Ernest R. Dickerson's mom.
Oh.
I mean,
What's her name?
I don't know.
Ernesta.
Mhm.
I was going to say yes.
If you're in
Oh,
a
what if-
cab and the cab hits a dog,
You don't get out.
No,
I
I don't
would
think-
leave.
I
I would
don't- I
leave, and
leave.
I'd
You
be
don't
like,
pay.
I'm not paying for this.
Yeah.
You hit a dog.
He still did the service. It's not his fault. The dog
No.
ran out.
The service is to get you where you're going.
You're not
Plot
going to
twist.
pay the guy?
No.
What if
That's a freebie. You hit a dog, that's a free fare. Sorry,
what
Bob.
if
Go ahead.
she was on her way to the Humane Society?
To adopt a dog?
All of the above.
Or to maybe put a dog to sleep?
All of the above.
Wow, she was putting one to sleep and getting a new one. It's pretty fucked up, to be
Why
honest.
not? It's a movie unto itself.
I'm paying the guy.
it
He
would
still
it
drove
would
you.
speed up the transaction. Most people that are dog people, within a month after putting one down, they're ready for another one.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, some people get the new dog before they put down the old dog.
Mm.
I know some people who have done that.
that
They don't wanna
establishes
deal with it.
dominance to that new dog. Shows you. Look what
Yeah,
I did to
yeah.
this one.
Oh, I thought it was more of like, hey, learn all this other dog's traits.
No,
You're gonna be
that's
replacing
exactly
him.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it
that's-
is. I was just playing up the threat.
Right. One day this dog won't come back. You
Mhm.
better not do what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dark. But you know, it's a dog-eat-dog world, guys, and that's what Ernest R. Dickerson is trying to set up with this whole opening shot.
Holy shit.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Think about it.
Bob, did you go to movie college or something?
I am movie college.
Fuck yeah. While all this is going on, the group of men find what they're looking for and they shoot it. It's a man. They shoot him with an arrow. Right through him. We get a title card, Surviving the Game.
Are there any other big human hunting movies besides this and Hard Target? Can you think of another one? I was trying to think of this earlier today.
The Pest.
That movie was so bad.
Fair
I saw
enough.
it in theaters. Turkey Shoot is really fun.
Oh,
would
I
recommend
started that one day,
Australia.
but I never finished it. Yeah, that's like a exploitation.
Yeah, right.
Don't mention that might be a category.
Is that with
yeah,
the
you
Oh.
keep saying that. You've said that for a year now.
is
We
that
got
with
a
the
season
Olympic
3,
shooter
Kron.
guy?
What's
The
that?
hungry guy?
No, that guy from Turkey that went viral. The
I thought he
shooter.
was hungry.
What?
The guy who got like silver in shooting and he just like had his hands in his pockets and
Oh.
wasn't wearing all the cool eye shit.
Mhm.
It was just like
Just-
nonchalant shooting.
Just stood there with a gun and
Yeah.
dominated the sport.
He would have been one of the people being hunted in Turkey Shoot.
Okay.
That's kind of the vibe there. It's a sadistic film, but it's also very campy. It feels like a live action cartoon. You know, it's kind of a little bit like a precursor to. Do you guys know Rickie-O? Story of
Yeah.
Ricky?
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like not nearly as gory and fun, but would feel like the exploitation 20 years before or 15 years before that film.
So
You guys
like
should do
Battle
Rickie-O.
Royale. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Shush.
Okay. Zip. Battle Royale. Yeah, kind of. Battle Royale is kind of similar too. I think it's a cool concept. It's easy to understand.
You mean the Hunger Games?
That's
Oh,
where
I
I
haven't
was.
seen those.
I was going to make that lame comparison, but then I was
Oh,
also going to
okay.
mention the Stone Cold Steve Austin movie, The Condemned.
I was going to
Oh, I
mention
don't know that.
the most deadliest game from the 30s.
I feel like Hunger Games kind of doesn't count though, right? Because I guess I mean more like a sadistic group of people hunting another person. Hunger Games is more like, hey, you got to get like all your, like you're on equal footing. You know, it's kind of like,
Yes, I understand what you're saying. I was just trying to play up that gap thing that Bob was talking about. How one
Yeah.
was like this thing 20 years ago,
oh, gotcha.
you know, from like a different
yeah.
culture. So
hmm
like Battle
Yeah.
Royale really wouldn't work in mainstream American audiences. We got to put a like poor white girl with a bow and arrow.
You got to put Tarantino's name on it.
Yeah.
And by the way, how many times have you seen The Condemned?
With Stone Cold Steve Austin? I don't
What?
think I've actually seen it.
Okay. Good to know.
but you read the book it's based on.
I read the novelization of the movie.
Oh, gotcha.
The graphic novel.
Even better.
Yeah.
We got a dead dog 2 minutes into this movie. The taxi driver wants his money for the damages to his car. Like he tries to fight Mason here, but Mason keeps his cool head, collects the dog, and buries it. And while he's doing this, we get his good buddy Hank here. He shares some of his veteran wisdom with him. Hank here is also featured Mr. Ruby in a movie we covered called Seconds when we did John Frankenheimer Direction Erection.
Crazy
check it
that
out.
in the 90s you could still find like a plot of dirt in Seattle.
It was all filmed in a town about an hour away from Seattle.
Fucking bullshit.
Shit happens, man.
I want my
Some
money
movies.
back.
I hate
dude.
that they fucking
It's
lie
the
to
magic.
me constantly.
It's the magic of the movies. Okay. Later that night, rain comes down. Hank and Mason are looking for food. Hank's complaining that nobody eats decent meat anymore. Mason finds a gun in the trash can. Hank
Maybe-
shows him.
Maybe nobody's just throwing away decent meat anymore, you know?
Yeah, they're probably eating it. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a big steak. I'm not tossing it in the garbage can.
That's the next day's meal. Yeah.
Maybe people are composting also,
Composting meat?
It is. Yeah.
You're not supposed to, but
Oh. Sounds like a pet cemetery situation.
My tomatoes have never been healthier, guys. Throwing pounds of ground beef out there.
I was gonna say, what kind are you throwing in there?
They're getting strong, these tomatoes.
Tastes like a fucking hamburger.
They're protein rich. Dry as a bone.
Hank shows him some very basic gun safety things here.
Wait. He finds a gun in the trash, and he clearly pulls it back to inspect that it's not loaded. And then Hank is like, you gotta make sure it's not loaded. He's already in the process of doing all of that currently in the film.
He's just trying to look cool. You don't know that.
I don't think so.
He's living through his trauma. He's just like, whoa, like, yeah,
Hank is a Vietnam vet. He's going to make sure the gun is taken care of.
I think they just needed this set up for later in the movie.
Shut up, Kron. We'll get there. Hank basically says, don't fuck with guns. Mason takes Hank to a place where they can get some real food. They stop off at a meat packing plant. Mason jumps the fence. He brings out a whole fucking leg of a cow or a pig or something. But out comes a security guard and starts fucking with Hank. Mason jumps the fence and says, we don't want any trouble. We'll give the meat back. Security guard's like, it's already fucking contaminated. And he continues to hit up on Hank.
This security guard is worse than the movie's big bads. He is a worse human being. Right?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he's kind of mean.
The other guys hunt people for sport.
But they at least have a sport to it. This guy, is about to shoot him point blank for robbing meat. I
think he's just the security of the meat packing place. I don't think he's like a police officer.
Yeah, it does seem weird, though, to, point a gun at someone if you're at the meat security guard.
He's pretty bloodthirsty. Yeah, I think he's I get to kill somebody tonight. He seems very excited about this.
I think he is created by the system, upheld by the guys doing the hunting. Think about it. Capitalism. They created him.
Maybe one of these rich fucks owns that goddamn meat packing industry.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they own the gun factories. They own the security guard. They own and so on.
Guys, Bob's taking my spot every week from now on. I don't have to do this fucking show anymore. Fuck yeah, I'm out.
There we go.
Mason Mason jumps the fence, pulls his gun, but the gun that he found, but the security guard hits him with a nightstick and gets the gun. The security guard says he's going to kill a motherfucker tonight and pulls the trigger, but it's only a click. Mason gets the upper hand with a nightstick and threatens the security guard. I'm going to make a popsicle out your motherfucking ass. The security guard hightails it out of there. But we do notice somebody is watching from a car from a distance. Back at our homeless camp here that evening, Mason feeds all his friends in need some meat that he scored. Full tummies and some more smooth jazz. Mason starts to get in his own head, and Hank gives him a speech about getting back on track and that all things are going to work out. Mason says, ain't no one going to give me a break. But the speech that Hank pulls here seems to pull Mason out of his mental dump. The next morning, Mason discovers that Hank has died.
Isn't the speech just you gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps and very
more
generic
capitalism bullshit?
Yeah.
Pay your taxes.
If you paid your
I don't know.
taxes, you'd be all right, Hank.
Yeah.
Or
Come
Mason.
on, Hank. That's what Hank said to himself, and then he killed himself.
Did he kill himself?
Did he?
I think he just passed away from old age. That's what I
Oh.
like to think. So the next morning, Hank is dead.
Maybe
And Mason
internal
finds him.
injuries from that security guard, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
Mason buries Hank next to his dog. We got a dead dog and a dead best friend all within 10 minutes.
What's the
What a
difference?
fucking movie. Bones, did you add this to the dead dog list?
As I was watching it,
Okay.
Dead Dogs and Hot Dogs has been updated with surviving the game.
That is a Letterboxd list you can follow at 5-Day Rentals on Letterboxd.
Now, can I ask you guys a serious question?
Shoot, Bob.
Is there a movie that you've come across where the dead dog is the hot dog?
Not yet, but I fucking hope
Kron
so.
won't answer that question.
Why not?
He won't tell us what the sexiest dog is.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
try to get him to answer what the sexiest dog breed is, but he never will.
The sexiest dog is a dead dog? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe that's his answer. Is that your answer, Kron?
I think they were playing up more the hot dog angle. Like, what's the hottest
Oh.
dog?
No. No, I was not.
Wait, okay, so if you're not, then you are saying dead dogs are inherently sexier than live dogs?
Don't try to turn this around on me.
That's
Answer
weirder.
the fucking question.
That's
'cause
weirder
the
than what
li-
you're asking me.
The only reason that 15 listeners have been listening this long is because they want to know what you think is the sexiest dog.
You know, I'll give the same answer, Dan. I don't find any of them sexually attractive.
Gun to your
Yet.
head. Boom. Sexy
Like,
dog. Let's go.
He's dead.
Just shoot me. I'm
He's
ready
dead.
for the bullet anyway.
Okay, but it's the special bullet that kills everyone you love. Let's go.
Oh.
Pull the trigger,
Everyone.
Bob.
Everyone you love. Okay, and it kills everyone you love and the entire planet. And then
I'm not-
it also reanimates you and makes you Hitler.
I do have to question this, though. You've got a special bullet, and you want to know what the sexiest dog is?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty suspect.
Is it?
Yeah.
How many
I'm
of these
gonna
bullets
need
you
an
got?
explanation. You only need one?
Well, you must have a lot. If that's
No.
the question you're one answered.
I got it created for this exact dilemma, so we need to know. Chop chop,
Kron?
sexiest dog.
I don't know. There's
Just-
got to be like a B movie where a lady's dressed up like a dog for Halloween or something.
That doesn't count. It's a human.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to go with. There's no dog that is sexy.
Just pick one.
I don't want to just pick one.
Well, we know that you don't actually have an attraction to dogs. Just pick one.
If I say something, I'm
nobody's
just
gonna
saying
take
it.
this out of context.
Dan, get on
No,
with the fucking
don't worry
plot.
about it.
I can't get on with the plot. The guest is asking a question. You know,
I
guests
don't.
are
I
king
don't
on
have
the
an
show.
answer.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
have an answer.
You can
All
say
right.
Dachshund. You can say Dalmatian. You can say Labrador. It's okay.
Well,
We won't hold
Bob,
it against you.
Bob will ask him at the end of the episode. See if he
Okay.
comes up with something.
I'll
I think
remember.
I think it's a golden retriever, but I don't.
They kind of smell bad, but
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a golden retriever, Dan. That's crazy.
All right, so we know it's not that.
process of elimination. We'll get there.
So it's Bob. It's probably a Chihuahua, but I don't think so.
Nah, man. Come on. You can't do any bird skulls with a Chihuahua.
Mm-mm.
It's true. It's true. Mason makes his way through the city and passes up free lunch at the 7th Street mission. A guy named Walter can tell Mason is distressed and follows him. Walter was right to follow Mason because he tries to stand in front of a fucking gorgeous Peterbilt big rig to end his own life. But as he's going to do this, Walter runs in and saves his ass.
Don't kill yourself. My buddies want to hunt you.
We'll do that for you. Mason starts walking away after this and telling Walter to get the fuck away from him. Walter continues to follow him and says, "Yo, I want to help you. And there's better options than killing yourself." Mason exposes that his wife and his kid are dead and that he doesn't want any responsibilities. I'm done with that shit. Walter says, "What if someone offered you a decent job?" Mason says, "Fuck off." Walter accepts this and starts to walk away. He says, but if you ever are in need, look me up at the 7th Street Mission and I'll help you out. Mason says, hold up. What kind of job? Walter says they need a guy to kind of be sort of a survival guide. Mason's like, I don't know shit about the outdoors. But Walter insists and gives him a card with the guy's name of Burns on it, and he runs Hell's Canyon Outdoors. Mason heads down to the building with the address on the card, and Burns opens up the door. Anybody recognize this actor?
Chevy Chase.
Close.
Oh.
Did he hit himself with the door when he opened it?
Almost.
Because that would have been a dead giveaway for Chevy Chase. It's a Chevy Chase move.
Yeah.
Mr. Rutger Hauer, bro.
Yeah.
Back on the show.
Back on the show once again. You can catch our episode of Flesh and Blood. Check that one out. Crazy.
Oh, wow,
Crazy
that's
good time.
wild. I didn't even put that together.
Legit?
I love
What?
Yeah,
Well,
legit.
Paul Verhoeven. He's great.
Oh, you do. Huh?
This
That's a
show
fan.
has definitely increased my appreciation for Verhoeven and Rutger Hauer. Because quite honestly, before this show, I always thought he was like, he's kind of annoying, but
Oh, he's great.
he's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, he and Dutton are my two favorite performances in this movie.
Dutton?
Yeah, Charles S. Dutton.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh.
I think he has the most interesting switch. He gets to FaceTime
See
of
that?
like trying to inspire him. And then when he wakes
Yeah.
him up later in the movie, the switch that he gets to make is incredible.
You don't like what John C. McGinley's bringing to the table?
I mean, that's just John C. McGinley, right?
Yeah.
He's having
guess.
fun, but
It seems like every scene he's got a different take on what movie he's in, which is fun. I mean, it makes it a fun watch.
I think that performance goes deeper than what you think. How many times did you watch this movie, Kron?
Guys, I watched this movie twice this week.
Groundbreaking.
Oh, wow.
Oh my.
Bob, I've only been watching these once, or maybe sometimes, I don't know, not even.
Yeah, he won't admit to it, but he's scrubbing through quite a few
Bob,
of these.
he has a movie
Kinda
podcast
froze
and he
a
only
little bit
fucking
there.
watches a movie once. Can you believe that shit?
How many times did you watch this, Bob? Because if you say once, I think that's plenty of times to watch a movie to be able to talk about it.
Don't you fucking say what?
Oh, Bob left. Just exited the
Bob
call.
just left the store.
Bob was so embarrassed, Kron, by that question that he just fucking left.
I think one is plenty. I don't know why. Like, why did we ever get to the point of like we got to watch all these things two times?
I can't. Please remind me to put the sound effect, assuming Bob comes back, the sound effect of the shop door opening and closing
Okay,
when he leaves
Okay.
here.
but seriously,
that
what?
is 50 minutes.
Okay.
Why do we need to watch these two times through? I think I got surviving the game on the first pass.
I don't necessarily think that you're wrong watching it one time if you're not hosting it. And I think if you're leading it, it would stress me out to only watch once.
I think
Yeah, I
on the
don't know
ones
nuts.
I plot, I watch them twice. On those most of the time, if I got the time.
Okay, I see Bob coming back. I see him through the glass. He's walking back in.
Guess who's
Bob,
back?
welcome back.
You guys are talking about the amount of times you watch a film for a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how many do you think's the right amount?
I watch it once usually.
That's fair. That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
So occasionally I'll do like a quick kind of glance through a little, skipperoo through a few things, but
Skipperoo, is that a Canadian thing?
yeah.
Okay,
It's actually what everyone in Toronto is now saying. It's like if you go like up like Queen West and stuff, people are like, "Yo, Skipperoo, you got that Skipperoo on you? Cool, bro." You know.
Dude, you
Whoa.
had a
Is Skipperoo heroin in this scenario?
Yes, it's fentanyl. But yeah, go on.
you had a band, a member of a band or something on, and you guys were just going into like Toronto death metal bands, and I was like, this is like the coolest fucking thing ever,
Sweet.
dude. I was like, this is awesome.
Sweet. Thank you.
I can't remember what episode that was, but I was like, I know so much about the Toronto metal underground scene.
Toronto death metal, yeah. Well, you gotta rep it. And I actually don't know where you guys are recording from, and I don't want to like out you or anything. But you said
Some
you're
bunker in America.
Yeah, and I know that much. Where are you guys from?
I live in Tennessee, in Nashville, and these two
Oh.
guys are in Missouri
sweet.
in separate spots.
Oh wow, okay, sweet.
We're that Midwest. You
Mhm.
can't tell.
Well, I'm
St.
the
Louis.
South, dude.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm in the South.
Tennessee
Kron-
is the South.
Kron is originally from where I am. That's how we know each other.
I figured, yeah, you guys like grew up with each other, right?
Mm.
In a
Sweet.
way.
That's cool. All the people that I grew up with are terrified of podcasting, so you're very fortunate to be in your positions.
Really?
Everyone's face was like, "Are
Every-
we?"
Everybody's like, we should start a podcast. Seems to be
yeah,
the thing.
not my homies from Newmarket. None of them want to ever be recording themselves talking. So yeah, you're lucky.
I would
Embrace
say
it,
the
guy.
bulk of our like personal friends probably have no idea really what this is. They
Oh,
they ask about it, but I think it's more of just how is it going, and then you move on. I don't even really talk about it. My wife will mention it to somebody, and then some random weekend somebody comes by and's like, "How's the show?" And I'm like, I don't know.
oh.
Why do you care? But I think it's more just like a polite thing. But
I think I get like, how's the show? Do you make any money? And I'm like, no.
Oh, I
And they're
hate
like,
that.
oh, okay.
I don't tell anyone that I do this, so
It's a
I
dirty
send
secret.
a plane through Nashville with a sign on it that says, Kron Howard, 5-day rentals, please listen.
Oh,
I
wow.
live in Nashville every week. Cost me
Yeah, the-
$5,000.
the banner is too small, Dan. Nobody
So
can see
you've
it.
seen it. I knew you've seen it. You
No, I'm saying
dickhead.
nobody can see it, dude.
But you've seen it, you fucking dickhead.
You
I
gotta
knew
pay-
you've seen it.
you
I
gotta
asked
pay
you the
for
other
the-
day if you've seen it.
You got to pay for the premium product, dude.
Well, you throw 1,000 in, and I'll throw another 1,000, and we'll go from there.
You got to get the guy to write it with like the fucking chemtrail.
I'm gonna get the fucking Blue Angels to fly through, dude. Then people will pay attention.
Have
Hey.
you guys thought about just getting stickers made?
Bob,
we
we'll talk
got
after the
stickers.
show.
yeah, you're gonna be getting a care package soon.
Sweet. I like
Kron.
care.
You're fucking welcome, okay? You're fucking welcome because I gave you a cigarette movie. Cigarette is part of the story here, man.
Yeah, dude, I started back.
Finally.
Oh, no.
Movies got me smoking, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
But it made me want one pretty bad.
Burns brings Mason into his fancy ass office and says, "No offense, but you don't really look like a hunter to me." Mason says, "You don't really either." Burns asks, "How many cigarettes you smoke in a day?" "As many as I can get," replies Mason.
I felt that line in my bones, dude.
Burns says, "Thanks for the honesty, but we need someone with endurance." Mason, he's upset about this and notices a treadmill, which he can't say the name of it.
A running
says-
thing.
He says, "Put me on that thing and I'll show you endurance." Burns says, "If you could run for 30 minutes, I'll give you $20. For $20, I'll run to fucking Alaska. So Mason does this. He finishes up his run. He makes his $20 and immediately lights up a fucking smoke. Burns asks where he could find Mason. He says the best hotel in the city. Mason checks into a downtown hotel. This is a real hotel in this town. It's about
Really?
an hour
looks like
outside of
shit.
Seattle. The man that does give him the key is an actual pimp.
Do you think they put it on their sign out front? Like, this
Yeah.
is the hotel from Surviving the Game?
Oh, they might. I don't know.
Our TVs don't work, and there's...
I don't know
Crap.
if it's in. If it's
Customers must wash their ass before getting in the bed.
Mhm.
Well, he did wash his ass, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
He
He,
took a
sat.
bath.
He sat in the bath.
I'm not even giving a thumbs up. Come on.
Did he wash it, though? Like, if you just kind of...
If you soak it long enough, it's good, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know,
If you
Dave.
If you soak that ass for 30 minutes, I'd say it was clean.
Do we really need this film to be an hour 40 minutes? You know, like 96 minutes makes sense. 4 minutes of him washing his ass. Do you need that? Right?
They could have put in 15
Okay.
seconds of him just scrubbing back there.
The director's cut is just like iced tea, like bathing more.
Yeah.
It's the structure is quite interesting. It's like 36, 40 minutes or so before the plane lands in front of the cabin. And then, your final little showdown at the end, which is what, like 4 or 5 minutes. Like,
Mhm.
it takes a little bit to get going, but once it does, it fucking cooks. There's very little fat in the actual game.
All right. Mason puts on some smoother jazz, takes a bath. We do see that Mason is pretty scarred up from what appears to be some burns.
Oh, he had the Krueger back.
He's got
That's
it.
what I called it. Yeah, he's got a Freddy Krueger back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's the
Bob.
deal with the guy sitting? So when he checks in, sorry, I know we're past this, but he checks in and he says, "Give me a room with a TV that works this time." And the guy's like, "What, you want the presidential suite or some shit?" And he's like, "I just want what I fucking pay for." But the guy behind the desk, he's like he's like talking shit to some like old hippie druggy looking dude.
It almost looks like the dude from the Greasy Strangler.
Kind of, yeah. But then when he goes into the room and the TV doesn't work, God, I felt fucking bad for him.
Mhm.
Because it really is a thing of he just wants like
A night.
he wants a night. Yeah, he would love to just like watch something and get out of his own head. And I think that was the thing that I know it's going to sound fucked up, like that we take for granted that unhoused people don't really get, right? They don't ever get a moment to just like get away and like scroll through a phone or watch something on fucking Netflix or whatever, right? Like it's just a constant movement of trying to survive.
Like, when's the next train that I got to hop on?
Yeah, and I was like that affected me more than I think maybe that was the intent. I don't know.
Well, I think for me, I really got into the satirical angle of the film, and I could feel like Ernest R. Dickerson has like a lot of anger making this, even though it is like a fun action film. You could kind of get that, and I feel like once he gets to the cabin, that's more noticeable. So I kind of know what you mean. Like the film is sort of like slowly setting you up for, actually, no, like this does have some like serious weight to it, and like, something a little bit more substantial to it. You know what I mean? So I can see what you mean.
Yeah. I could see a different version of this that drops a lot of the social and socioeconomic and racial stuff, and it's
Yeah.
probably pretty bland. And I could see one that goes a little too far into that, and then maybe you lose a lot of the fun of it. Because if that's
I
too
wouldn't mind
forefront-
that, to be honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're getting into the question of, how much were they allowed to do, right?
Yeah.
Like how?
Good point. Yeah.
I mean, budget definitely was a problem with this movie. Ernest R. Dickerson is coming off of being a DP for Spike in Do the Right or Malcolm X. So he's kind of in that mode of wanting to direct something that had a little bit of a punch, an undertone, and stuff like that, just because of working with Spike for so long on Malcolm X.
There's one shot where I kind of remember that where Ice-T is first talking to, sorry, I totally blanked on his name, Charles S.
Dutton.
Yeah. So Charles S. Dutton, they're walking in front of that, I think, garage. It's
That
like a white shot. Yeah, that was the first shot where I was like, oh, wait a second. This movie's got a little bit more going on there, And it did feel like from that point onwards, I kind of like put the giggles away a bit and started paying attention a bit more.
Kron, to your point earlier about how many movies are there about, hunting man for sport. About halfway through this, I thought, does this need to be the action guy, A Star Is Born, where we get a new one like every 20 years?
Yeah. That's
kind of like, you kind of take the problems of the day and you work them into that. Maybe it's not always an unhoused person and this, but like flip that scenario of say like, oh, it's just the key thing is a guy being hunted for sport, but what other socio-economic things can you discuss inside of it?
Yeah, I feel like Hard Target seems like a movie that's more leaning into like, this is just for fun. There's no real thing to say. I mean, I think it kind of has the same thing of like a guy who's beat down by life, and
there's some veteran stuff that's in there.
Yeah, but I think you could kind of like take that template, and I guess, I mean, what is it, like The Deadliest Game or something? Isn't that a book that we all had to read at one point? I felt like I had to read that, but that's like an old book about hunting, like hunting a man for sport.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that guy had some, it might have been about like, we got to fucking get out of England or something, it's like that kind of thing.
The next morning, Burns wakes Mason up, gives him some clothes and $200 advance, and says he'll make $500 a week, and if he's any good, he'll get a raise. They drive to the airport. Burns says that he's spent some time in some third world countries, and basically what he's telling Mason here is, with a little bit of money, you can do whatever the fuck you want in these places. But Mason he's not paying really attention to this and asks how come they get off by hunting animals? And he's like, it's not about death, it's about life, and you have a lot to learn on this trip. The guys fly into Devil's Canyon, which is in the beautiful wilderness of Oregon. We get some spectacular flyover landscapes here. Walter is along on the flight as well. Mason asks what the pig is for. They say, he's like, this doesn't look like anything you guys would hunt. He says, that's Fred. He's a special guest. They're going to eat it. They're going to eat that pig. They land. Mason starts to help unload the plane. He does see more guests arrive. He goes into the cabin. He notices a locked door. He grabs some beer. And he goes out and meets the guests.
I love that really tries that lock.
Well, and then doesn't he even have a voiceover where he's like, I wonder what they got in that room?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Why is that locked or some shit?
Yeah, it's like a little too much, I think, but...
They definitely do a lot of letting Ice-T speak out loud. Which is great because everything he says is fucking gold.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Great casting.
There is a lot of like inner monologue that is spoken aloud in this movie.
Burns! Burns!
All right, let's meet our goons here, dude.
Burns introduced him to the men that are hunting. We got Busey. He's a doctor. We got a junior and a senior wolf here. Basically a rich guy and his son. We got John, who is McGinley. Sorry. Do we have anybody else? We got Walter and Burns, yeah. They do have a meal. It is the pig that they brought. Hopkins, who plays Gary Busey, our main guy here, and Wet Ass Busey, he does make a speech. Each man out here will experience the animal within himself. So embrace it. Don't deny it. Allow yourself to feel purity in the primal essence. It's God's gift to man. Here's a toast to the hunter and a prayer for the hunted.
And they all
Hopkins
definitely
reveals-
don't give a creepy side eye to Ice-T at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're all looking at him, yes.
Yeah, McGinley's just staring at him the whole time.
And I like that.
Yeah.
though.
That was
think
like a
that's good.
racism thing, right? Like he's like a racist dude.
It might go with the story he tells later on about
Yeah.
He's
his
working some
loss.
shit out a little bit more
Yeah.
emotionally than some of the others.
But it kind
don't-
of made me think of like when Liam Neeson was talking about in real life. Do you remember when he got flack for saying that thing about how his like friend was like, you know, sexually assaulted by a black guy? And then when he walked down the street, every time he saw a black person, he was like, I want to kill them. And it kind of made me think of that a little bit, of like this weird form of racism in a way, of like someone attributing like all people of the same color to being this like one villain.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm getting too heavy by saying that. It just went through my mind. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, it's a
Well-
brutal thing to think about, though. I mean, it
Yeah.
probably is a stem of a lot of our issues, right? Is
Yeah.
associating. I mean, if that's a metric or that's a dimension that's easily identifiable as different,
Yeah.
it's a bummer. It's
Totally.
fucking more than a bummer. I don't want to downplay it.
Yeah.
It's fucking atrocious, actually.
Yeah. But I mean that was something that kind of like fed into me feeling like Ernest Dickerson is just like he's pissed off. I think this is like a fun movie, but he's angry about something making this, you know? And rightly so.
There's definitely undertones in a lot of his movies. I know he's a man that always fights with the studio for a strong black lead, and he won't do the movie if there is not a black lead. I know for Demon Knight, he really wanted Jada Pinkett to be in that movie, and he was like, I'm not going to direct if she's not in it. So
That's awesome.
I think Ice-T was one of the ones that New Line was like, we'll consider Ice-T, but then they had some other options that were just all like white guys. And he was like, nah. And he loved Ice-T's work in Trespass. So I believe it's
okay.
a Walter Hill movie. I
Oh,
think.
he's fucking
Yeah.
great in Trespass.
I have it.
Takes place in East St. Louis.
I have it on the Plex.
Yeah, it's good.
I gotta check that out.
Good.
I really liked Ice-T in this. I'm trying to think of what else I've seen him in, but like he just has like natural charisma. He's like one of those actors where every time you see him, you know he is Ice-T. He's not like a character
Mhm.
actor, but it's like it doesn't even fucking matter. You're just like, wow, like every time he talks, he has chemistry with someone, you know?
He's got
Yeah, for sure.
feeling
Yeah.
in that dialogue.
And that was
Well, yeah,
like my main thing about this film. Like I loved the casting. I loved all the different actors in it. I thought it felt like maybe the budget went towards getting these really great actors, because most of them are like fairly well known. Maybe not so much at the time, but yeah, I think most of them would have been like pretty well established. So
And I think it's good to have them their level of actor or theatrical level, right?
Mhm.
Ice-T coming from music.
yeah,
that in its way, like it also separates them in a weird way, but they're also good and he's good that they work and they mesh well together. I think that's probably more beneficial than we think. It's probably a little bit more subtle.
Yeah.
So when they are acting hammy and campy, that stands out more than Ice-T maybe having a little difficulty, maybe trying to convey something a little bit emotionally. It's like, oh, what stands out is the way F. Murray Abraham calls him a homeless piece of shit. Like that, like I'll laugh at that. But then when, there might be a line that, I don't know if Ice-T quite understood the emotional impact of that one. He probably should have slowed it down just a hair, but I don't care.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Well, I think it works that they're kind of all, like, they're all solid character actors and they're all playing kind of big in a way in this movie. So any kind of rough edges around, like Ice-T, who I don't know how many movies he'd been in at this point, but it kind of like smooths it all over in a way, because it's like for any part where he's lacking, if you've got a guy that's being equally as crazy in another direction, it makes the movie gel in a way.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a handful, right? New Jack City, Ricochet,
I don't know.
Trespass, like kind of around this time.
Maybe like 4 or 5. So he's fairly still. I think right after this is when he started all his stuff with Body Count. Like went into record right after this, the first Body Count record. So he's fairly new, and to be acting with these established gentlemen, I mean, that's got to be a little daunting, I would say, but I think he holds his own.
He fucking delivers for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Hawkins.
I was sorry. The last thing I was going to say is I don't think like JCVD or Steven Seagal would have been like they would have stood out like sore fucking thumbs.
Totally.
Yeah.
Going
I
against
absolutely agree.
the status of these other guys.
Hot take. I'm not a big JCVD fan.
Wow.
I like it. I like his skills, but his acting, like, I can't stand it.
I thought you were going to say his splits for a second there,
Sure,
Bob.
his splits, his skills, his sachets, his sidekicks, whatever you want to call it. But his acting is like, it does nothing for me.
I will say for the listener, Bob is pouring another hazy IPA and just looking comfortable as hell.
I don't know if we've had a guest so comfortable.
Fucking lean.
I'm taking it as a
really?
massive compliment. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
This is actually the another
Ontario it's a different
brew. Collective Arts Peak to Peak West Coast IPA.
Oh shit.
Hell yeah.
Guys, we got to get to Canada, dude.
Yeah, we get some good ass beer here. I'm sure you guys do as well, though. So
yeah, I think nowadays it's all around.
Yeah.
Hopkins reveals that he's a shrink for the CIA and that Burns and Walter are veterans that he has helped. Basically, hunting is a form of therapy for them. Burns sits back and enjoys. He says, "Enjoy your time in the wild." Starts giving a speech of how you should enjoy your food, you should taste it, you should be it. We got John here. He starts asking Walter how he knows how to pick hogs because they always taste so good. Kind of just messing with the viewer here because we know more than what Mason knows. Wolf Sr., he asks how Mason likes his wine. He goes into, this is a $450 bottle. And Mason's like, man, $450, I should have been drinking this shit a long time ago. And Wolf Sr.'s like, that's $450. And Mason spits it out and he's like, don't waste it. As the evening drags on, the guys settle in for some good old card games, drinking and smoking some cigars. Mason does bum a cigarette off of Hawkins. He does give him the whole pack. We get John here. He's staring at Mason, and Mason finally addresses it. Like, what the fuck are you staring at me for?
This is, that's a psychology thing, right? He's trying to get him what do I got to do to get him to take the pack?
For Hopkins, you mean? Okay.
Or for Hawkins. Yeah, the doc. He's like he's just getting a vibe of him. Take the pack. It's, did you guys ever watch The Shield?
No.
I think I watched like the first season, maybe.
Kind of mid-season, or mid in its run, Forrest Whitaker comes in as a character. And his little tick was that he would offer people gum. He would offer them a stick of gum. And if they took it, he would be like, okay. But if they said no, and he would still push, he would say, you sure? It's a fresh pack. It's blah, blah, blah. That was his way of figuring out, like, how far do I have to go to get this person to accept what I want them to accept or to take something from me? And that's what I was thinking.
I
This,
can push
like,
him.
yeah.
So I kind of read that differently because like later in the film, they almost like catch him because of the smokes, and like I also felt like the smokes are kind of a weakness too. You know,
Mhm.
there's even a point where I thought maybe they were gonna like write it in that he put like drugs or something in the cigarettes to like slow him down. But yeah, I mean, what you're saying totally makes sense too.
I don't know. I think I'm inclined to also believe that though. That
Yeah.
we do sort of, he's the one who gets the most amped for being the CIA psychologist. He's the one the next day that's just like, I want to get out there. Can't wait to do it with my bare fucking hands, right?
I'm gonna break his neck.
You know, so maybe he is like, man, let me just have this dude smoke fucking 20 so he can't run at all tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
it does,
that's a good thought.
Hold you back. Now, question to ask you guys, because okay, this is a bit of a controversial hot take about the film.
Oh,
I
shit.
almost felt like this whole sequence in the cabin was maybe for me the highlight of the movie. I really fucking love this whole part. There was such a weird tension to it that I kept thinking, man, I almost wish this was the whole movie. Was this slow building, like all these conversations and tensions building until they kind of break where they like hunt him at the end of the film? I don't know. Think about it, guys. What are you thinking?
I think
like that.
I think it could work in a different movie, like if you didn't have so much of the setup. Because, like Bone said, by the time you get here, this is like minute 40 of the movie.
Yeah,
but I think
that's true.
you could have a thing where it like essentially starts when they all arrive, and then the entire movie is like this long drawn out where it slowly unfolds. Like, oh shit, they're gonna hunt this guy.
It's almost like a Hateful Eight kind of situation in a way, where it's just all drawn out in this cabin. But I loved it so much. I wish they could have made that more of the film.
I wonder if they ever considered doing an actual hunt the next day with him, where they went out just for deer or something.
Oh yeah,
and they're toying with him, and they're getting his
process.
Yeah, like they take him out and they kind of
wicked.
fuck
Yeah,
with
like
him,
that.
like, you know, and maybe in that they take notes of, oh, he's actually pretty strong, or he's kind of doing
Fast.
this, or he doesn't know which way north is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that was ever considered, and maybe something
I
cut
like
for
that.
time.
I would have liked that movie more, to be honest. But that's just me. I have weird taste, so. Yeah. But that's cool, like just drawing it out more and more until, because like once they say okay go, then the film is so reliant on like the spectacle of it, and it kind of lost me a little bit. But I feel like I'm jumping the gun, so we should continue with the plot.
But if you do open showing like the cuts back and forth with a guy already being hunted, the viewer already knows. So at a certain point, this tension, like you're saying, you're enjoying that because you know what's going to happen the next day.
Yeah.
I think if that is too long, when
Okay.
you're at minute 50, you're probably going to be like, I fucking get to it already. Like,
Yeah.
and that includes my pitch of they go out for a day and actually hunt an animal and not he. But
no, I like that though. That's a cool way of not making it feel so like was it like a bottleneck kind of thing, you know, of like so self-contained to the cabin, and it's just these people like ruminating in this cabin. Like you're saying, like it's an opportunity to switch to a different setting and to like actually flesh out the plot and the characters and everything. So, but yeah.
John starts asking where Mason is from, how old he is. And then Hawkins asks, have you ever killed anything? And Mason says, yes, my wife and kid. This really upsets John.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He has to be dragged outside
No.
to calm down.
Okay. John C. McGinley, and then later in the movie, I think it's F. Murray Abraham, both have problems getting this cabin door open. And I couldn't remember if that was going to be a plot point later on when they're at the cabin. Because McGinley, it takes him a little bit to like undo the fucking lock. Because he's like really playing up the I'm pissed off, and they push him out. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but if you listen to this before you watch
McGinley,
it, like watch McGinley have a difficult time getting this lock undone.
Mason takes the pack of cigarettes from Hawkins. Hawkins tries to shrink bullshit on Mason, but Mason kind of flips it on him and starts asking him questions. Hawkins says, ask me whatever you want. Mason asks about the scar under his eye. Hawkins tells a story of whenever he had a bulldog. Hawkins proceeds to tell a story about how he won his manhood with a fucked up story about killing his own bulldog.
Prince Henry Stout. Love that dog.
This is like one of the most popular scenes from this movie. It was based off of, I guess, a white supremacist whose father did this to him. I guess that's what Ernest R. Dickerson was saying in the commentary when I watched it. And I guess Gary like loved that so, not that the guy was a fucking white supremacist, but just how crazy that story was. And I guess he's like, Ernest, you really watered my garden. Because I guess whenever Gary showed up, he was really confused about this character. He's like, well, am I supposed to be a funny guy? Am I supposed to be like serious? And he's like, when I told Gary that story is whenever he really got into this character. And he was like, he was the most like focused one on set after I told him all this.
Can we, this being a category about Busey and this being the part of the movie where he'll probably get the most time. What I thought was interesting that maybe we could go over is the timeline of his accident and his overdose. So this is post motorcycle accident, but before overdose. So he had that run there of like Lethal Weapon, Point Break, this, which is post accident where he's like a little out of his head, a little crazy. Post overdose is like true off the rails, takes him a few years before he's back to being like spiritual or whatever. So I do think that that's important as we go through this category to kind of plot and
where he's at in life.
Where he's at. And based on what I think we think Kron's going to pick, I think that might be a pre motorcycle accident. And that might inform where I select mine. Hint, hint.
Okay.
What do you think I'm picking?
I don't know, Butthorn.
We'll find out at the end of this episode. Mason gets ready for bed for that evening. Thanks, Burns, for the opportunity. Gives Hank a shout out because he says I'm back on track. The next morning, Mason is awkwardly woken up with a gun pointed at his head by Walter and Burns. They explain that they would like to play a game. They are hunters and Mason is a hunted. He gets a head start until they finish enjoying a nice breakfast. Lavish breakfast.
I fucking love the Busey speech. It's incredible. But this little duo acting of Dutton and Hauer is my favorite bit of performance.
Oh, they're buds.
Oh, but the way that you've seen Dutton up until this point, and then how fucking violent and terrifying he is,
Flips.
and Howard just leaning up against that wall, just
Looking at his
nonchalant,
fingernails and shit.
just whatever, is great.
I think it's crazy. I mean, it's probably the next thing Dane's going to talk about, but when they throw open the door and like everybody's clapping and shit, and I don't know, it just feels, it feels a lot different than the movie we've seen before.
Burns says if you make it to civilization, you live. Mason tries to make a move on Walter. He takes a few punches. Byrne gets a hold of him and pushes him through the door. Yeah, we get that chaotic scene where everybody's just in his face and start to push him towards the door. Eventually, they throw him outside. Mason gets his feet under him. He says, "What the fuck, Burns?" Burns just keeps shooting at his feet and says, "Run, run." So finally, Mason takes off into the woods. We get a nice father-son moment here where Wolf Jr. realizes they're going to hunt a person.
Dad.
And he's like, "What the fuck?"
Dad.
He's a human.
So,
Senior.
do you guys recognize that actor from any movies?
The
His
father or
son?
the son?
The son, William McNamara, I think his name is.
What was he in? He was in like one more big one and then kind of fell off.
He's in. I don't know if you guys are into Dario Argento. He's in
Oh,
his
Opera.
film Opera, yeah, and he's also in Dream of a Dream.
That's where I recognize that guy from.
Opera.
I've watched Opera very recently, so
yeah, he's I think like one of the first people to be killed in the film.
yeah, he's like the kind of boyfriend of the chick who's singing.
Yeah, the main star. You could say like the final girl. He's dubbed in that, which is really weird, even though he's an English speaking actor. And then he's also in Dream a Little Dream with the Coreys, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
Oh, right on. Recently on tour with Limp Bizkit.
Yes. And then the other one's dead.
Wolf Sr. says, "Dude, he's a homeless piece of shit." He says, "You act too much like your mother. I spent $50K on this, and you're going to learn this lesson. Don't disappoint me. And gentlemen, don't disappoint me because we're taking a piss break."
Oh. Makes sense.
Welcome back, everybody, to 5D Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds.
Welcome back, 5D Army, to 5-Day Reynolds. Thank you for coming back here, for surviving the game. We got Bob here from the Split Your Head podcast. Very informative, very fun podcast where he does interview lots of different folks with lots of different strokes. I did learn from the most recent episode about pink films. He does have an episode about the Toronto Metal Underground, which is great as well. But you always throw some movies in there along the way, which is great. And a lot of movies that maybe a lot of people haven't seen. So I want to say, Bob, thank you for Split Your Head. I listen to it every time it comes out, and I enjoy it. Now,
Sweet.
I do follow you on Instagram.
Oh, no.
And I know that recently you took a trip to Europe.
Oh, yeah.
You got to tell me what happened with that hand, dude. Like, I seen that picture and I was like, holy shit. Unless you don't want to talk about it.
No, there's like a really, really long story as to how it happened. But I will just jump right to the incident per se, which was that I accidentally poured boiling water all over my hand, and it turned into these giant bubbles. And fortunately, my wife had, for some reason, antibiotic like cream for burns. And so I managed to just put that on for the rest of the trip, but I had to bandage my hand pretty much every day. Yeah, it was gnarly, but I intend to use it for a future album cover at some point. So
It's metal as hell.
Yeah,
it did look very metal, like very death metal looking. So
It's a gnarly ass picture. When I seen it, I was like, "Holy shit, dude!"
It's good that
Yeah.
you're getting some usefulness out of it, at least, you know. So
Yeah, it was very like body horror looking, like something out of, I don't know, like Society or something like that.
So, Bob, I also went to Europe earlier in this year.
Hmm.
What's it like going to Europe as a Canadian and being truthful when you tell Europeans that you're Canadian, as opposed to
Oh,
my situation where I'm American pretending to be Canadian? So I'm.
oh. I don't know. I don't know if it really came up, at least on this trip, because my wife and I went to Italy. I don't think it ever really came up where it was put into question, like, oh, are you American or are you Canadian? Um, but people were just very, pleasant about learning I was Canadian. I ran into other Canadians, which was some good, some bad, I'll say. I'll say
Yeah.
that much. Yeah. I don't know what to say about that. But it's funny because like the first time I ever went, on a backpacking trip through Europe, people were saying like definitely have a Canadian flag on your backpack so they don't think that you're American. Although I've been told I have kind of a Canadian accent, so maybe they'd be able to tell.
Yeah. I will say, for the most part, I was very open, and 99% of people were still very okay. As long as I tried to be humble in saying hello in the local language, or trying to just be humble about, like, hey, please slow down, or do you know English? A lot of people were very keen to want to ask about the U.S. We got stopped several times, and like, where is St. Louis? Where is this? And we would just have to say like, it's a few hours away from Chicago, and they would, okay, yeah, I know Chicago. Like, it's so big. The U.S. is so big.
Yeah.
But we had a Swedish kid at a bar stop us, and he, on the way out, he was like, excuse me, are you guys from America? We're like, yes. And he's like, I have some questions. We're like, yeah, okay. And he was just like fascinated with like the freedom of it. He was like, I just want the freedom. And I was like, dude, don't believe fucking Yellowstone. Like, don't believe that. Like, you're much more free over here than you think by comparison. We push that narrative, but please stay where you're at.
Where was
but I can't afford a wheelchair.
That was in Stockholm, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And he wanted to know like where all we had been in the US, and if he were to move, like where would he suggest that we would go?
Yeah.
Because he was like, I don't want winters. I really like the desert. So we were trying to tell him like, well, go to New Mexico. Like, it's kind of low key. And he was like the drug show? And we were like, yeah, like Breaking Bad. That's Albuquerque. And he was like, okay, yeah.
That's wild.
I can't wait to go back.
That. Oh yeah, Europe is great. Yeah, I would highly recommend Italy. I think it was maybe the greatest place I've been to in Europe so far. So, yeah.
I lived in Germany 3 years and I didn't want to come back.
You lived in Germany?
I am.
I do like Germany. I like Berlin quite a bit.
It's good beer.
Yeah.
I was about an hour and a half away from Berlin.
Okay.
By train.
Yeah.
I went to Germany for a couple weeks, and I just made sure to smoke a lot of cigarettes while I was there so I'd blend in with the locals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Worked super well.
All right, guys, we got to fucking get to moving on surviving the game here. We got to run as fast as fucking Mason does through these goddamn woods because he's hauling ass while he's running. The guys are having breakfast and chatting. Burns has to calm Hawkins down because he's so fucking excited he can't wait to break this guy's neck and kill him.
I mean, if your hunt only lasts like 20 minutes, are you even satisfied with that?
So this might be controversial, but these guys are pretty terrible hunters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think but it seems like, because they keep saying stuff like, well, is this one even going to put up a fight? Like, I hope it's better than last time.
Is Burns trying to make it last longer?
I feel like you do want I mean, if you're hunting a person, right, you don't want it to be a 10-minute ordeal. You probably want it to be like, we had to track this guy for 4 days,
Now the FBI is tracking your track, Kron.
I'm just saying, if that's the goal that these characters have, like, you don't want it to be over in a very short amount of time.
That's why I kind of think Burns is kind of letting it play out longer than it should.
And like, why even bring
Did
guns?
anybody else get that?
I feel like you should be doing like bows and arrows and, like shit like that. If you think you're such a good hunter.
I think that and this is when like the kind of problem of the film came up for me, was that you've got such a great cast, and we're coming off of a really strong sequence in the cabin, that maybe the best stuff in this film is the dialogue. And so I think that's why the film kept having these points where, they caught up with him right away. Oh, they keep catching up with him right away. Like, there isn't these prolonged sequences with Ice-T without interacting with the guys. And I just found that kind of ran short in terms of like it being this like spectacle focused action film, like this isn't like First Blood in a way. And I think at that point, that's when I was starting to compare the two films. Like First Blood is like a way better movie in terms of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot take from Bob over here.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's completely crazy to say First Blood is better than surviving the game.
It's crazy to say that?
No,
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
First Blood is a much better movie than this.
Yeah. But it
Dan.
set the blueprint in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, to your point, yes, I think I'd like to bring up character consistency, which starts around this part. So I agree with you. Burns is trying to extend this. I believe Dutton is doing the same. That is kind of in line with what we had seen of Burns so far. The whole, it's not about the death, it's not about the hunt. This is like all about life. There should be some sort of lesson involved in this. The inconsistency to me starts largely with Busey's character, who seems very controlled, and then even mentions that he was the one who kind of got Burns and Dutton into it, like with his therapy training. And then the next day, he is just completely psycho and he just wants to murder.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that really works. I get McGinley being just, I'm there to work some shit out and I can't wait to be the guy who fucking kills him. Wolf, they almost make it seem like he had done this before and now he was bringing his kid, so he kind of seems like he gets it.
Yeah.
Him having to deal with the son sort of makes sense. But when it gets to a certain point later on and Burns sort of realizes like, shit, I'm like not going to be able to take him on, and starts to run. I do think that that's funny, but I kind of wish that throughout this, Burns gave a little bit more explanation into his like, this is why we wait, because constantly he's telling people to chill out. I almost wish there was a little bit more of like, you're not learning the lesson. You're not enjoying what this is supposed to be about. Like, and even using Busey as an example, like, look what happened to him when he got too bloodthirsty. Like, chill the fuck out. Like, if they would have leaned into the lesson a little bit more, I think I would have appreciated it a little bit. especially because like the build up in the dialogue up to that point.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
I get you. I think the writer said his biggest mistake was killing Busey off first. But I guess with fucking seniors, who's senior? What's his fucking name? The
F. Murray
actor.
Abraham.
Yeah, he had just won an Oscar the year prior, so they wanted him on screen longer. So I guess he required. But he also got into a car accident during the filming of this. So that's why he's wearing gloves the whole time, because his hands are all fucked up and shit.
Bob can relate.
But he
I can? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have a fucking car.
For a second, I was like, I'm not wearing gloves. Oh, right.
All right, Wolf Jr. He's having trouble having breakfast. We get another father-son moment. Junior just doesn't want to do this, basically. Burns calls out Wolf Sr. and says, hopefully this doesn't become a problem. Wolf starts making bets that his son will draw first blood.
Whoa.
And that's what we call a 360 here on 5-Day Rentals.
He never pays those, by the way, in the movie.
But his son doesn't draw first blood.
Yeah,
Which
that's
means
why he owes the other guy's money.
Burns draws first blood.
Yes, Dan, whenever you make a bet...
I bet on Burns.
Okay. You know what? It's not
You
worth
bet
it.
on Junior, that's your own fucking fault, dude.
Okay, you're right. I'm not going to explain this all right
House never loses, dude.
Doesn't it also seem weird that Burns and Dutton are hunting as well? Wouldn't that piss you off if you paid $50,000 and the people that are leading the thing are taking shots and...
now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they are kind of guides. They should be like, maybe he's over there.
Well, you should be like, yeah, like that place would be a perfect spot for someone to hide. Like, let's lock your sights in and shit. You know, it seems like there should have been stuff like that rather than like, get down, this is my shot.
Maybe it's just more about the journey than the destination. Like they just want to bond with each other, but they don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the exact sticker I put on the back of my Jeep today.
Oh, that whole
Yeah,
sentence? Okay.
Yeah. And then it said, Bob.
Bob.
But it's on the wheel of your Jeep, right? So it goes all the way around.
Yeah, so you can
it's
see
like-
it better
it's
when
like a spiral.
it's
A big spiral.
Spiral.
Mason finally stops for a breather. The cigarettes are starting to show, aren't they? Meanwhile, the guys mount up on fucking dirt bikes and ATVs to start the hunt.
See, this
Not
is what I'm talking
A lot
about.
of
Not
good that
cool.
head start does, huh?
I mean,
Yeah.
they should have been on foot with bows and arrows. I feel like these guys should be like, we're at the top of our hunting game rather than like, I have a high-powered scoped rifle and a four-wheeler. Like, of course you're going to catch up with them.
Not good hunters, dude.
Well, it's
Not
just,
good hunters.
it's not much of a challenge at that point, you know?
But is that playing into the satire and the element of like status and...
Yeah, I mean, I guess they do that in Hard Target too, right? Like all those guys, they have like a fucking kill squad after Van Damme.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it always seems stacked in the favor of the hunters in these things.
Do you guys want the Van Damme scream?
What?
Do
Do
it.
you want the Van Damme?
It's like no audio at
Yeah,
all.
it came in on your track, but
It's spiked here. It's really blue.
yeah, I'll have to lower that.
Cool.
Sorry, Bob.
Oh, I have no idea what just happened.
Nothing happened. That's the problem.
I think Dan blew his mic out or something. So
Oh,
Probably.
you screamed?
Yeah, it didn't come through
I literally,
will
I
in
just
the episode.
Okay. I just saw you like put your thumb up, and yeah.
You're blowing
Are
it,
you
Dan.
Are you regretting this yet?
No regrets.
All right. Mason can hear the guys coming as these dirt bikes and ATVs come screaming down the forest. He starts running again. The gang gets into the woods and immediately pick up Mason's track. John C. McGinley sees a deer. He freaks out. Him and Hawkins sidetrack. They chase it down. Busey has some jets on him, dudes. Can run pretty quick right now. John C. McGinley fires, misses Mason, and Hawkins says there wasn't even anything fucking there. Mason stops, he catches his breath. He kind of comes up with a game plan here. See what he needs to do. He decides to head back to the cabin and try to find some guns. The gang continues on to track Mason. Burns starts thinking something's off here. And he's like, shit, he went back to the cabin. Nobody's ever done that before.
I will say I probably agree with 80-90% of what Ice-T does. Like going back, turn around, go double back to the cabin, I absolutely would have done.
Yeah.
Like
so smart.
The hide in a tree stump and let them just like walk past you at one point, totally would have tried that.
I was going to say, I figured there'd be more hiding involved.
You know what, Bones? You just gave your whole strategy away, dude. And you know I got plans to haunt you.
Kron would hunt. He would be the guy that hunts us.
He's the senior of this outfit, I think. He'd have his fancy driving gloves on.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you, Bones.
Precisely.
The gang heads back to the cabin. Back at the cabin, Mason smashes his way through the locked door that he seen earlier when he got there. And it's just a fucking room full of heads of past victims.
Yeah, a bunch of Zordons in there.
Rangers.
He decides, you know what? Let me burn this motherfucker to the ground. So he soaks this cabin with gas. And goddamn, he gets every fucking room. And it shows it too. Once the gang shows up, they start searching the cabin. He lights that bitch on fire. Hawkins is able to burst through one of the doors and tackles Mason. We're going bare hands. Hopkins starts punching Mason, but Mason gets his footing. It's a pretty fair fight, though. It's a pretty good fight, actually. Meanwhile, Wolf Sr., he's trapped in the burning cabin. Wolf Jr. steps in. Dad! Goes and saves his daddy. Dad! Where are you at? Mason fights with Hopkins. Hawkins continues to smash Mason. He smashes him against the hot-ass door, which burns him again. I like my meat rare. But Mason is able to flip Hawkins through one of the cabin windows where all the heads were. And I guess they start to bust from the heat, and this causes an explosion.
Yeah, it's got to be like formaldehyde and shit, right?
It's pretty flammable shit.
Yeah.
This ends up killing Hawkins. Try well done, bitch. Mason turns. He takes off into the woods.
I mean,
Wolf
for a
Jr. sees this, though.
For a Busey category, not a lot of Busey in this movie, Dan.
All I said was it had to feature a Busey. That was it, Kron. I was opening
Fair
up
enough.
the books for you.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to get caught up in the category. I'm trying to think of a C word. C word. Fuck.
Category conflict.
Conflict. Conundrum.
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld.
Shamu.
That has been this podcast for the last 2 months. Okay?
Mhm.
Pinocchio's a puppet movie and you need to get the fuck over it, all right?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Never had a problem with that. It's not a revenge movie.
God. Fucking damn it.
Let's move on with the plot.
Let's move on with the plot, Kron. But Bob, Pinocchio is a puppet movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
Wait. Oh.
And he's a world famous podcaster, dude. That's coming
World
from a
famous.
Kron. You can't
World
fuck with that.
famous.
At least international.
I'm from Canada, eh?
That's from a Canadian, so you better believe it.
Do you guys have any maple syrup?
Nah, I'm weightlifting tomorrow. I need
There
it.
might be some in the pantry downstairs, I think.
Okay, so imagine covering your hands in maple syrup and then lifting weights.
Probably add an extra plate, dude.
Like to sop up the maple syrup?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, you need a plate underneath your hands and one extra one on each side of the bar.
But also, like, not to burst your bubble, our maple syrup's probably from Vermont.
Yeah, it's like I want to say the brand, but I think it might be racist. So let's get back to the plot.
Kirkland?
What? No, the
Kirkland Costco maple syrup.
No, that
Organic.
Is it organic?
That's what I use. I gotta put it in
okay.
the refrigerator. Do you put
What's-
syrup in the refrigerator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not me.
We
It doesn't
don't.
last long enough, dude. Pop the top, drink the bottle.
I was really hoping we had a Canadian guest and you guys wouldn't fucking bring up syrup.
I brought it up.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Bob did bring it up.
I brought it up. So
He's hit all the
Blame the
topics. He's hit
Olympics.
up free healthcare, our gun violence.
well, because maple syrup and free healthcare are really awesome things.
Yeah, I agree, Bob.
Yeah, but you got to wait. We're told that you got to wait like 8 or 9 months to see your doctor.
No.
Okay.
I get right in.
Yeah, you know.
Isn't it weird America didn't win gold in shooting?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the one thing we do right, dude. I mean,
Oh.
we can't get a fucking gold medal for it.
You guys are
Our
screwed.
gang.
We need to survive this game.
I mean, you know, if you've got a bottle of maple syrup in your pantry, I guarantee you somebody here has a gun in their pantry
Yeah.
in the U.S.
Shit, I think I have a gun in my pantry.
Just cover it in maple syrup. It won't work. Problem solved.
A little backfire on you. That's the last thing you want.
That's cigarettes, Kron.
I think we're we're spoiling the ending.
Thank you for joining us for surviving the game. 1994. The gang regroups. There's no sign of Hopkins. Burns and Wolf Jr. ask if they've seen Mason. Wolf Jr. goes silent, but Burns reads the eyes, and it kind of points out the direction that Mason went. They mount up. Mason runs into a wolf and quickly tries to get the fuck out of his woods. Because he understands that that's the wolf's woods. Don't fuck with that shit. All you people getting bit by sharks, that's the shark's home. Don't complain.
Ooh.
Mason runs.
I
till
think
he
I'd
hits-
complain if I got bit by a wolf.
No.
Like, I think I would understand that I was in its territory, but I'd still complain about it.
No.
Wait,
I
so
wouldn't say a word.
if you got bit by a wolf, you just like, I get it.
Yeah,
That's your response.
My bad.
Like, it's on me, to be fair.
I
It's
would
my
know
fault.
that I was somewhere I shouldn't have been, obviously, but I'm still going to voice my
You know what?
opinion on it.
I'm in your shit, man. I totally get it.
Mhm.
If a snake comes into my house and bites me, okay, I can complain because it came into my house.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But if I'm in my yard and a snake bites me, that's just a snake being a snake, baby.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We figured it out.
I'm a conservative, Kron. Not in that.
Oh,
Nah, that came
wait
out wrong.
a second.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. That came out wrong.
Bob's going to leave again, dude. Shut the fuck
I'm
up.
Canadian. You tell me you're conservative is like you saying you're like a Nazi or something. I kid.
We get it.
Yeah.
I can see that though.
Yeah. I am on an American podcast, so I get it. I get it.
Nah. We'd rather be there. Guys, where am I at? All right, Mason does run into this wolf. He runs till he hits the edge of a waterfall, but the gang is on his ass. He doesn't even have time to think. They start shooting at him, so Mason jumps. We learned that John here, McKinley, he has an inhaler. Mason swims his way out of the raging river. He gets to dry land. Byrne says if he survived the river, there's only one place that he can come out. So they head that way. Mason is going through his coat here. He finds cigarettes that he took. And this
Still
sparks
dry.
an idea.
All right.
Kron, are you having one?
Fuck yeah, dude.
All right.
I think you're allowed if you're being hunted. I think.
Dan, if I pulled an old coat out of the closet and I found a cigarette in it, I would absolutely have it.
What do you do at a gas station?
Well, I don't buy them, but if I happen to like find them in my jacket,
Do you think you have a jacket in your house that has some cigarettes? in
no, I checked all the pockets years ago.
it? Bones, did you ever find like a jacket that had some cigarettes in it?
No.
All right.
I only have like 2 jackets. I'm not a guy who has a bunch of jackets.
What if I sent you guys a carton of cigarettes to your house?
You know what?
I'd throw it
I
away
think
immediately.
I think I got 3 jackets.
Bob, what if I sent a carton of cigarettes to your house?
That's illegal, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
crossed
get past
international
customs.
lines, dude.
Fuck.
Can you put it in maple syrup?
hmm
I mean, they
Now
don't
we're
have
talking.
maple syrup cigarettes in Canada?
I don't think so. That would be good.
Let me
though.
ask you this.
I'm
How
ready.
close are you to a Tim Hortons?
Like, there's one on every corner.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's true.
It is true, honestly.
How's the coffee? They say it's pretty good.
It's disgusting.
Is it really?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
Huh, I always heard it was good.
Who told you
I think
that?
there's a Tim Hortons in St. Louis, isn't there?
Yeah, they tried to establish here and they didn't last.
Oh, so
It's-
it's gone now?
Yeah.
It's good for cheap food. Like if you want a cheap like sandwich or something, the donuts are okay. Timbits are kind of nice, but the coffee is brutal. It's not good. I would say like I've had Dunkin' Donuts a few times, and Dunkin' Donuts is way better. You guys are much better off with Dunkin' Donuts.
All right.
Yeah. And I hate Dunkin'. So I must
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I can't do Dunkin'. I would do
Like that-
Starbucks over Dunkin'. Yeah.
These guys are too elitist, dude. With their
I'm a-
coffee.
I like
Dude,
my
I-
independent little
you give me a
hippie
cup of
spot.
Me
coffee,
too.
I'll fucking drink it.
Me too.
I like a Burger King cup of coffee.
What
Ugh.
the fuck?
You know what?
Jesus.
You give me a Folgers, who gives a shit? I'll drink it.
if you need it, you know.
Yeah.
Dunkin' had good cold brew when I had it last. For what it's worth.
Maybe I'll seek that out. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the
cold,
cold
it is
brew's
cold
good.
brew season. So
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking? It's still like 95 degrees here.
Oh shit! Right, you guys are Fahrenheit. I always get this mixed up. Fahrenheit.
What do you
right?
mean?
Yeah, Fahrenheit.
Yeah, so we're Celsius.
I
Yeah,
don't know
so-
what that translates to.
So crazy.
what do you
Yeah.
what did you mean by what are you saying? It's like 95 degrees. That's what I mean. It's cold brew season. Like it's
That's hot.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
okay.
Like sexy or
I don't know. I drink hot coffee like all throughout the year.
Oh, I do
mean,
too.
Oh,
But
oh,
also
yeah.
but you drink cold brew at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I have a
That's
hot
hot.
cup of coffee.
Oh,
But by the way, this is like what I dreamed of when I searched the best Canadian guest I could find was like this stuff.
Oh
Like this was my fucking master plan the whole fucking time.
I need someone who's had Dunkin' Donuts in the past 6 months.
I need to fucking ask that Tim Hortons question so bad.
Hey,
It's-
Bob.
ready.
95 is roughly 35 degrees Celsius.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Pretty hot. Yeah.
Hey Bob, what are you guys doing are you doing miles per hour or
Kilometers.
Kilometers. yeah.
Kilometers. Sorry.
Kron?
Okay.
You idiot! Kilometers.
Does no one say
No,
kilometers?
it's the same. I think we just said the same word. It's okay.
So great. Thank you, Bob, for your time.
What did I do? Oh, okay. Yes.
The gang starts advancing on foot. They can't believe their noses. This idiot is smoking cigarettes. The gangs track down a tree that's smoking a cigarette. This guy is good, they say.
I
John
don't
takes
know.
a sidetrack.
Put a cigarette in a tree. It's not that creative.
I knew that would be Kron's comment.
You have one thing in your pocket. Okay.
John takes a sidetrack. He finds another tree
You
that's
got high
smoking a
standards.
cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
But death comes from above, and Mason smashes John from a tree by jumping on him. Burns tries to contact John, but he's being carried to a mine by Mason. Mason stops, knocks John out again up against a tree, keeps trucking up the mountain. Mason gets on the radio, tells Burns he will kill John if he doesn't get him to the plane and fly his ass home to the city. Burns says, let's sleep on it. John wakes up. Mason said no one gives a shit about you, and I'm not telling you where they are until they get me out of here. John tries to convince...
I thought when he said, let's sleep on it, they were going to be like, all right, we've got roughly 8 hours to track down McGinley and like find him and get Mason and shit. But they don't. They're just like, all right, well, let's all go to bed now. Don't worry about that. I thought it was going to like drive the rest of the plot from here, and it does not at all.
I think I'd like Mason's move here.
I think I like Mason's move. The reaction to it doesn't make much sense.
Oh, on their end? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, but Burns admits that he knows where he's already at, so... I don't
Does he,
think he
though?
has to... Yeah, he says, like, I know he's up there because you can see the fucking light from the flashlight.
But he
I
does
I
drop
would say
the
that
ball,
if I
though.
was your guide.
They fucking fail because Mason gets away.
Yeah, but
When they-
Burns wants to continue the hunt. Burns has already figured out that he knows that the final fucking showdown is going to be Burns and Mason. Like, these other guys are just 50K.
Then what's even the point of continuing on? Like, just shoot them and
Make 50K.
have your own.
You've already got the money.
He's been paid.
I'm
dude.
sure it's a upfront payment kind of scenario. Also, is that a kid's rate? 50K?
Yeah, did
We
he
only
get a-
know that Junior gets charged 50K.
I think it's 50K a piece, so I think it's 100 for
I think
junior
the
and
adult
senior.
rate's 100K.
plus McKinley. And it's 94.
McGinley?
So you do the math, Kron. What is 150K worth in 1994, Kron?
I don't know, man. I'll look
You're
it up
supposed to
for
be
you.
the-
140
Looking this up.
probably.
Well, it'd be more now with inflation.
Thank you.
I guess that's what I was saying.
I think we're saying this.
Yeah.
You're saying it would have less buying power. All right.
All right, as we said, Burns already knows where Mason is. He says he's up in that mine. I can see the light coming from it. He says they'll attack at dawn. Back in the mine, Mason and John share some tough guy comments, but eventually John breaks down and tells the story of how his daughter died and how it was someone like Mason that killed her. Mason is offended by this, but he does help John out with his inhaler as he has an attack that comes on. Mason says, "You don't know shit about me." Then Mason shares a story about how he lost his wife and his baby in a structure fire. He blames himself because he says he could have done more around the place to fix it up, but it's basically a dump, and the landlord didn't care about it.
$150K in 94 is $318,000 today.
Go on.
So-
I don't know why that killed me.
I have no clue what that is, CAD, but
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Good question.
Somebody's like, "Hey, Bob, what did you do Friday night?" You're like, "I was on this podcast where
we
they
talked
looked
about
up like
maple syrup, cigarettes, and I'm still trying to figure out what kind of dog this guy wants to fuck.
you'll never know.
You'll never know.
Thank you, Bob. All right, the next morning, our hunters make their way into this mine, and they find John C. McKinley, but Mason's nowhere to be found. John says he doesn't know where he went, but he's done. He's going home. Burns is not a fan of this. They try to talk some sense into him, but he starts walking away. Burns says, "Don't do that." And he says, "What, are you going to shoot me?" And Burns says, "Not me." And Walter turns around and shoots fucking John C. McKinley right in the face. He's done. The wolves, they freak out. Walter says,
Dad!
"We're all in this together." They say, "We're all in this together. That's the deal." Wolf Sr. tries to explain to Junior that now real people have died. But Mason interjects on the radio and says, "Looks like his odds are getting better and better. Your odds mean nothing out here." This is one of my favorite parts of this movie, the way that Rutger Hauer delivers that line. Your odds mean nothing out here. Cracks me up for some reason. Mason is at the top of the hill. He shoots a shotgun at him, but of course, nothing happens.
Yeah, you're shooting a shotgun from fucking
A kilometer away.
yeah.
Kilometer?
Kilometer, sorry.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
guys
kilometer.
can stick to the American system. It's okay. I appreciate it, but you don't. Yeah.
All right. The hunters take off, and so does Mason. The chase is on. The hunters track Mason to a river and jump in. This guy doesn't think we'll follow him through a river. But Mason is hiding inside a hollow tree. And once the hunters pass, Mason heads the opposite way and goes to the bikes and the ATV. So he pulls the same trick on him twice. Mason does set up one of the ATVs to explode. We do learn that from his interaction with John in the mine that he is a mechanic. So he does know his way around some engines. And he sets this up. The hunters realize that they've been bamboozled, and once again, they hit the trail back to the ATVs and the dirt bikes. They get there as Mason takes off on one of the four-wheelers, but when Burns is Burns is able to shoot a tire out from Mason, and he hits a log and flies off the ATV. Walter jumps on his ATV, and it explodes. Takes off both of this dude's legs.
Fucking awesome.
Pretty good looking. Walter, of course, is freaking out, and Burns calms him down, and he says, "Look, I got to put you to bed." And he agrees.
He's got his fucking fingers up in like a karate, like fucking.
Yeah, dude. He
Like
stabs
he's
his chi.
Mm-hmm.
Another hunter down. Mason takes off on foot into the wilderness. Burn takes a moment to himself. The wolves have another conversation, and Senior apologizes to Junior and says, "I'm sorry. This is not the way it should have been." Junior says, "I'm not like you, but I'm going to help you kill Mason, And that's it. I'm out. Mason continues to cut through the woods. He runs into a large bluff where he has to get across. So he shotguns down a fucking pine tree to create a bridge. The hunters are right on his tail. They start to cross this large pine. As Junior sets across,
One more
out
shot.
pops
It's got to
Mason.
work.
Mm-hmm.
2 shots left.
That's some more Ice-T internal dialogue that we get in this movie.
As Junior sets across, out pops Mason and starts chucking fucking rocks at him. Him and Burns. Junior loses his balance. Senior rushes to try to save him, but Junior can't hold on, and he falls to his death. Burns is able to shoot Mason while defending himself from these rocks. That's a good, like, I'm not a woods guy, like, survival thing. Like, I'm just going to chuck rocks at these dudes. So I appreciate that.
What else can he do?
Smoke a
Stinking on his
cigarette.
toes.
I do have to question, though. I feel like I would have just let them cross. Right?
Because he's on the other side,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, they'd
Well,
have to come back across.
You could have just stood there and pushed them whenever they got to the end.
I just gave him the old moon, dude. Just show my ass to him.
Oh, that would have made him so mad.
Yeah, just ass out while you're running away. It's classic. It's how we do it in the Midwest.
Yeah, Canadians don't have asses.
Just like back to legs.
Something like that.
Mason takes off, but Burns and Senior are hot on his trail. Or tail, whichever. They start shooting, which trips
Both
up
work.
Mason, and he goes tumbling down the mountain. But he's able to grab onto a small pine. Burns and Senior continue to fire at him with their weapons, but they realize they can't shoot him from that angle, so they move down. But Mason is able to climb back up the mountain. The hunters can't find him, so they decide to sit and wait, since it'll be dark soon. Senior, he's very upset and says once he kills Mason, we're going to settle up. And Burns is like, oh, that'd be nice. The
Yeah, he
hunters
still owes him because his kid didn't draw first blood.
He wants a refund, right?
Well, that was only a 10K bet, though, right?
It was 1,000.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. He can afford it.
Yeah, but these rich guys, they always nickel and dime, so he's probably won his 50K back. Can you let my
Mhm.
son die? Doesn't seem
Pay
to
me
be
out
that
at the-
bothered by it, right?
Nah.
I think, I don't know. He's kind of freaking out.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, guys.
hmm
I thought it was a cab kill dog world.
Oh. I mean, metaphorically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come on. I think that kind of works at any point in this film. It's a dog-eat-dog world. I mean, I'm talking out of my ass, but I'm kind of right.
The hunters settle in as darkness comes. Senior starts hearing movements all around him. He starts freaking out, thinking it's Mason, and unloads his fucking gun. Mason appears in front of him, and we get some good old-fashioned hand-to-hand combat. While they're beating the shit out of each other, a very well-hid Burns makes a move. Junior gets Mason up against a boulder.
Senior. Junior dead.
Senior. Oh, shit. Gets him up against a boulder, which we know causes a lot of problems, these boulders.
Mm-hmm. We got to stop him.
Oh, from your episode on Sexy Beast.
Thank you,
Right,
Bob.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. We love that.
Yeah, we always appreciate when people do their homework. There's been a few people that have been on the show, and it's like, oh, it's obvious you did not
Oh.
listen
to
ahead of
an
time.
episode.
Yeah.
I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I work a job that allows me to basically just listen to podcasts all day while
Right
I
on.
work. So yeah. So
Is your job to listen to podcasts all day?
actually it is. No. No, I'm a file clerk, so I'm just like scanning and typing all day. really tedious stuff. Throw a little earbud in my ear and just do podcasts all day. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, rate, review, and subscribe. 5 Day Rentals.
Oh yeah.
It's probably what I'd say.
Wait, what
if I was
podcast
a-
is that?
Never heard of that shit.
Wait, what?
That's the exact job I would say if I was a Canadian spy.
I work in the maple syrup factory.
All right, he starts calling him names, choking him, but Mason just breaks this dude's neck. He's like, fuck that. I ain't dying today. We hear a dirt bike drive away. Mason sees it's Burns. Burns!
Oh, that happened again.
He grabs an ATV and chases. Mason follows Burns into an airfield where the plane is ready to take off. Mason heads towards the plane on foot, but notices nobody is piloting that thing. Shit. Burns starts firing from distance and blows up this plane. Forgive me, Father. What a weird ass fucking looking scene. Looks like his eyes are like glowing or some shit. I don't know. I don't know if
Glowing
anybody else
red?
knowed. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird, wasn't it? I was like,
I liked it.
You've
I thought it was
clearly
cool.
never hunted a person, dude.
is that what happens, Kron?
What?
Well,
Maybe.
I've already said too much.
I mean, you have been convicted of 2 crimes since we've started this show, so
Uh-oh.
yeah, you should probably shut up.
Who was involved in that crime?
I thought the second ankle monitor was overkill, dude. They already got one on me.
Uh-oh.
I sold your ass out. I talked. They paid me. It's nice. Burns takes off on this other plane that the guests arrive because I was like, where the fuck did the other plane come from? Then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. There's 2 of them. That was me being a fucking stupid idiot. Mason emerges from the smoke and the dirt like a newborn baby. Back in Seattle 3 days later. Burns is at his office doing his makeup. He has all sorts of uniforms and passports on his desk. Wolf Sr.'s wife calls and says she hasn't heard from the fucking boys in a while. He ignores it. He ignores that.
Did anyone else think that the wife was Isabella Rossellini? Or was that just me?
I did
I'm
not.
actually not even joking. Like I was like, that sounds like Isabella Rossellini.
I
No?
don't know.
No? Okay.
Bones?
Mm.
Okay.
All right. It's a good pool, though, Bob.
Yeah.
It's a good what?
It's a good pool.
Pool?
Like,
Pool.
I don't
Oh.
know.
It's a good reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Isabella
I-
Rossellini's good to pull to.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, no, I honestly was like, this sounds exactly like her. Next time you watch it, picture her like, blue velvet or green porno, whatever she does,
Put your sickness in me.
Yes, exactly.
We do it for Van Gogh. 5 Day Rentals does not have a good history with David Lynch.
Oh, no.
So-
Okay.
No.
That's too bad. Well, you guys should be happy that he has emphysema.
No, we're not happy.
I'm not happy about it.
Come on,
I really don't like
Come
David
on,
Lynch
Bob.
movies, but I'm not happy about it.
You're Canadian. You're supposed to be nicer than us.
I'm not happy that he has emphysema. You guys are. It's not nothing to do with me being a dick. It's you guys.
You're right. We did have a text conversation that we were totally happy that he had.
Yeah,
it.
you were like sick.
It was Bones that started it.
Damn you, Bones.
Sorry, not sorry.
Okay, there we go.
You only live once. Come on.
Mm.
Burns heads out dressed as a priest, but his car won't start. He kind of thinks that's a little weird, but he takes off into the back alley, gets a little scared. Little old homeless lady says, "Hey, Father, you got any money to spare?" He says, "Get lost." Moves on. It's pretty good. She's like, fucking asshole. He notices a dirt bike from the woods leaned up against the alley, and he immediately goes into like, oh shit. He gets his gun out of his suitcase. Classic. We hear Mason stalking him from the darkness. Hey, Father Burns. Burns shoots into the darkness of the alleys, but doesn't hit anything. Mason swings down from the staircase, kicking Burns. The fight is on. These two are bear hugging and biting each other like fucking animals would fight. Did anyone catch the animal noises as the fights were going on through this movie?
No.
They did add those in.
Oh.
Good touch. All right.
Like a sexy dog bark.
Oh no. What kind of dog?
What kind of dog barks like that?
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Bird gets the upper hand and pulls his prayer beads off of him and starts to choke Mason, but Mason flings Burns into an electric box that shocks the shit out of him.
Wait. Let's all be fair though, that was kind of a weak electricity moment. I mean, this is really like my big thing is electricity scenes in films. And I was so disappointed with that.
What other movies do you have problems with for electricity scenes?
Oh no, I generally don't have a problem with them because usually I'm like, oh wow, there's one of these in this film. You know, it all goes back to like Home Alone 2, with Daniel Stern.
Classic.
Right. Remember the part when he's like, like shaking.
Yeah, he turns into a skeleton.
Yeah, so anytime there's something
Bob.
along those lines, I'm just
damn it,
like,
Bob.
oh yeah. And this was just when he like hit that what was it, electricity box or whatever, he's just like, that was it. Get the fuck out of here, man. Come on.
It was like a 30 seconds shock.
No. That was like
30 seconds would be long as hell, Dave.
that was 4 seconds.
Kron actually won a... What was that?
We guessed it on another podcast, and we each had to pick a movie that we thought had the best use of a skeleton, and I presented Home Alone 2, the part where Marv gets electrocuted.
That's pretty good.
I presented
won.
Goonies.
I won.
Okay.
I don't remember. What did you present, Bones, for best skeleton?
House on Haunted
House on Haunted Hill, the
Oh, yeah, that's
Vincent
right.
Price puppeteered skeleton at the end.
Okay. Huh.
So the concept is the host is the judge, and he gets to decide
Right.
who won that argument.
Which one of us was right.
And Kron fucking won off of Home Alone 2, which is a 3-second fucking clip.
Sorry, dude. I know
it's-
skeleton movies.
It's excellent though. That's a really good clip.
Yeah, I'm a big skeleton guy, so you know.
Oh, okay. I respect. I want to do like a little fist bump over the,
Yeah.
you know.
can-
Whoa, yeah.
Oh,
I've got like a bunch of
no.
skeleton tattoos. Like I'm
Fuck
all,
yeah, dude.
I love skeletons. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Skeletons, electricity,
Bones,
Grim
this is going
Reapers,
the wrong way, man.
demons.
Hell yeah, dude.
I
I'm into
actually-
all that kind of stuff.
I've been waiting for Ernest R. Dickerson directing Demon Knight. I've been waiting for us to talk about demons. So, you know, this is a good opportunity to do so.
You want to talk about demons or demons 2?
Or
all
Demon
of
Knight,
them.
I think,
All of them
is
yeah.
what Bob was getting to.
I
Because
was
I've
talking about
picked
Demon Knight, yeah.
Demon Knight and I've picked Demons 2 for this podcast. That's what
Oh,
that poster
boy.
is right there. Demons 2. Let's party. All right, let me get through this. We're almost done.
Yeah.
Bones, have another drink.
I'm all right.
Don't fucking tell me
Don't
that.
fucking tell me what to do.
Don't you fucking
Whoa.
tell me what to do.
Guys, I'm Canadian. I can't handle this hostility. Come on.
First off, Bob's coming best friends with Kron over here, which is I wanted him to be my best friend. And I was fucking friends with Kron.
I'm Canadian. I'm best friends with everybody.
Sorry, dude. I like skeletons and cool shit.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Fuck off, dude. Mason grabs a gun, points it at Burns' face. How does it feel now? Burns says it's something I've been waiting for a long time. Do it. Finish the game. Mason yells, bang! It scares the fucking shit out of Burns. The game's over, Mason says. He unloads the bullet, throws the rifle down, and walks off. Burns runs after the bullet, loads it into the rifle, and runs out to the alley and takes aim at Mason as he's walking away. Burns, there's one rule you always do when you find a gun. Our camera runs straight down the goddamn barrel of the gun and
It's
shows us
full
that
of
it's
maple
jammed
syrup.
with maple syrup.
Mhm.
Burns fires. It blows up in his face. Ice-T says, always check the chamber. Mason continues walking. End. Credits. Surviving the Game, 1991, directed by Ernest R. Dickerson. Did I say 1994. Sorry. Research. Gentlemen, this was released April 15th of 1994. It had a budget of $7.4 million, a box office of over $7.7 million. So it wasn't a dud, but it barely made its money back. At the cinema that week, you could catch White Fang 2, Cops and Robertsons, which I went to the theater and watched. April 13th, the week 2 days before, Serial
Bob seemed
Mom
disturbed
premiered.
by that.
Yeah,
When you said you watched
Bob made a
Cops
brutal
and
face.
Robertsons.
You've never seen Cops and Robertsons?
I don't even want to know what that is. What
Is that Eastwood? That's not Eastwood, is it?
Oh.
It is.
Cops and Robertsons?
No,
Is it Clint Eastwood?
it's fucking dude from City Slickers, right?
Billy Crystal?
Oh, the
the
old
old guy.
cowboy.
Oh,
Curly?
Jack Palance?
Jack Palance, right? Wasn't it
Uh,
Jack Palance and Chevy Chase?
But they really wanted
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Chevy
Hmm.
Chase, Jack Palance, Diane Weist, Robert Davi.
I went to the movies to watch that shit.
Oh.
And then there was, because at first when you said it, I was thinking of Cop and a Half with Burt Reynolds.
I remember that movie. Sorry. Wait, why am I apologizing? This is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
You have the Blu-ray of Cop and a Half.
It's also your Canadian nature to apologize, right? Like,
Mhm.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
But gentlemen, April 22nd of 1994, you could also catch a little movie called Brain Scan, which was also featured on 5 Day
Hell yeah.
Riddles. Go check that episode out.
Whoa.
Oh, the Edward Furlong movie?
hell yeah. The Trickster?
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Funsters in it. Doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Mm.
Scream 2, the video game.
That's
Mastermind.
Skeletons. Oh, fuck. Shit. Bones edit that out. This movie was released less than a year after Hard Target from 1993, with a similar plot about homeless people being hunted for sport. According to Rutger Hauer, Gary Busey wrote his entire dinner monologue about the origin of the scar on his face. Basically about Burns. Throughout the whole movie, Rutger Hauer basically wanted Burns to be the natural lead of this movie. That's why he wanted to ride a dirt bike and all this other choice. Rutger Hauer felt that this speech by Busey was kind of undermining his, like, I'm the main fucking guy. And during one take of Busey's story here, I guess Rutger Hauer got in really quick bullshit, but I guess they cut it out. And Ernest R. Dickerson really liked Gary Busey's delivery and left it in the film as well.
Well, I forgot to bring this up. They did the classic thing where Ice-T's name is first, but Rutger's name is higher on the
Mhm.
title card.
Yeah, it was all about him. I think I already told the story where Busey got his story. No sets or soundstage were used. The entire movie was shot in real locations. This was a town outside of Seattle, about an hour away. He did run into a lot of funding issues. I guess days were shorter up there than they anticipated, so they needed more money and more days. But when they went back to the studio to ask for more money, they were like, fuck off, like, you're not getting anything. I think at this point in New Line history, the two like top producers were kind of butting heads with each other and not really getting along. So one was kind of against the other's projects and wouldn't release money to get them done. Ernest R. Dickerson, as I said, was a cinematographer for Malcolm X with Spike Lee. And coming off of that, they were very interested in having him direct Blade. But he kind of felt like it was too much of a comic book movie for him and didn't really want to do it. But I think he came back to the thought of doing it once he learned that Wesley Snipes was going to be the lead, but they had already moved on. He also read the script for Seven, and they were interested in him to direct Seven as well. He kind of worked with the guy who wrote the script, and they kind of figured out how to film it because I guess New Line was having a lot of trouble with how are we going to get this into a movie. He kind of pushed it into what we're going to do or how I'm going to film this movie of Seven at a meeting, and basically talked his way out of the job because they were like, oh yeah, we can get a big name director to do it now because we know how to do it. So they chose Fincher instead of Ernest R. Dickerson. But man, I was like, God damn, that's two big movies he could have had.
Was Fincher just off Alien 3 though? Did he do something before in between?
He did Alien 3, but he was massive in music videos.
Yeah.
Madonna, baby.
Yeah.
He did.
I guess like after.
Didn't he do a movie though? About like women cowboys or something? Am I wrong about that?
Fincher?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Am I making this up?
You got The Game. You got Alien 3.
See, yeah, I think it was Alien 327.
Yeah.
I feel like Fincher wasn't like a top name at that point. I feel like 7 is what put him on. Like Alien 3 did not establish him really.
Yeah,
It was 7 that shot him into fucking outer space.
Dickerson basically reworked 7 to where it was filmable. So they were like, all right, yeah, we'll go with the bigger name here.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah. What am I thinking of then?
Are you thinking of that Selma Hayek, Penelope Cruz movie where they played?
With Drew
No.
Barrymore? Bad Girls?
Bad Girls, yeah. So who directed Bad Girls?
Was that
then?
Dickerson? That might have been Dickerson.
Oh, Jonathan Kaplan. Okay, never mind.
No, the one I'm thinking of is like Banditas or something.
Oh, that was later
That's
on.
way
I think,
later.
In like the
Okay.
2000s.
Then, no. Doesn't matter. It's not really on topic. My apologies.
Oh, this is that part of the show where we meet.
This
we
is 5 Day
meander.
Rentals, man. That's what we do. The same year this movie was released, Ice-T's metal band Body Count recorded an unrelated song with the title of Surviving the Game, which appeared on their second album, Born Dead. While traveling to a campsite in the plane, Jack Mason, Ice-T, looks out the window. Below, we see an albino moose. In Canada, it is a unique variety and is considered by the local population and good luck to the indigenous culture. That's for you, Bob.
I appreciate that.
Screenwriter Eric, I think I already told you this. He regretted killing off Gary Busey earlier, but since F. Murray Abraham had won an Oscar, they felt they needed to put him in the movie longer. Gentlemen, that's all I got for Surviving the Game from 1994, directed by our good buddy Ernest R. Dickerson. Might not be the last time you see him on the podcast. Any thoughts regarding the movie, or should we move in to what we do best?
I say we move into Rate My Letterbox, bro.
Rate my box!
Wake me up inside.
Who's starting this off?
Let's recap. I put you at a 3.5. Kron puts you at a 3.0. And Bob puts you at a 4.0. Kron, why don't you finish?
I'm going to give Bones a 3.5, and I'm going to give Bob a 3.5 as well.
Bob, how about a 3? Kron, how about a 3? Now, Bob, all you're doing now is points were
Telling
for your
what you
Dan's
guys-
guess. It's just for fun for Kron and I. What do you think we would rate it?
I'll give you both 3.5.
3.5. All right, Dan.
I'm going Bones at 3.5. I'm going Kron at 3.0. I'm going Bob a 3.0.
All right, fair.
Yeah, I think that's everybody. Sorry, Kron. Go ahead.
All right, guys. Surviving the Game, circa 1994. I don't think there's anything too egregious in this movie. Like, it's mostly, kind of dumb, enjoyable, fun, at least in the middle half. I think you do get some good setup that doesn't necessarily pay off in the long run. We kind of discussed it. I think Bob's idea of extending the cabin scene is a good way to go if you want to inject some, I don't know, more thoughtful kind of stuff into this. I think the biggest kind of bumps for me in this movie were that, number one, I think it kind of looks rough in a way. I think it's too bright in a lot of spots, if that makes sense. It almost looks like a, direct to TV kind of thing at points. And then I also, we've watched Hard Target together. I think that movie almost works better because the main bad guy in that, he's just an evil piece of shit, right? He's just a bad guy that likes hunting people. I think giving everybody a sad backstory in this movie, it kind of muddies things in a way where it's Ice-T shit is sad, McGinley stuff is sad, Gary Busey killed his dog. Am I supposed to feel good for the people that are hunting a human in this movie? It's tonally a little confusing to me, but those are all pretty minor gripes. I had a fun time watching this movie twice in 1 week. It's a good time. I think this is a solid 3.0. It's just kind of straight down the barrel. You're going to like what you see. It was a good time. 3.0.
Thank you, Kron. I agree with you a little bit on it being bright. I think from a technical standpoint, the thing that stands out is editing. I know that's difficult, particularly when you're shooting on location and you're shooting in the woods. Some of the stuff's a little choppy, particularly on the crossing the ravine part. But for $7 million, I think as a whole, the movie looks quite capable. And I think what they do a pretty good job of capturing or establishing an atmosphere, geography. You know where you're at. You feel gloomy in the city when it's bright outside, particularly in the woods. I do enjoy. So for the most part, I think the movie does look good. I think there's some inconsistency with the character. I think that's the gamble when you try to have, to repeat Kron, when you have everybody have some sort of backstory. It does make it a little inconsistent when you also want them super bloodthirsty and you want to root for them as a bad guy. I think having one or two sort of just throwaway standard goons might have helped, but that also could have bloated this thing a little bit more. I do think that Dutton and Rutger Hauer are incredible. It's a bummer that Rutger Hauer felt that maybe Busey was taking a little bit of his limelight, but cannot take anything away from Ice-T carrying this movie. Bob, you said earlier, the guy is he just oozes charm, and you root for him from the first sequence. I think the structure is interesting. It paces really nicely. I do think I understand that they're going for that Rutger is now in his territory at the end when it ends in a city alley. but I kind of dislike the logic and geography of them getting away and then 3 days later. I would have preferred something that sort of tied a bow on it out in the woods. So much so that on my rewatch, I kind of just tuned out after the plane blew up. That being said, when you throw on a VHS like rip of this from TBS in 1998, you're going to have fucking fun. 3.5 for Bonesy.
Bob.
Oh,
Please go.
Yeah, I feel like I touched on a lot of my issues and a lot of the things I loved as we were going through it. I think for me, I felt like the film had a ton of potential to it. It had a really great cast, and there was this point, I would say, about when they got to the cabin till really, or I would say when Ice-T set fire to the cabin. From that point, that whole stretch was sort of the film that I wanted it to be, where it was kind of really picking up on this like old school exploitation, kind of like nihilism, and leaning into like a level of satire that I was hoping it would continue with. And maybe that means that it would be less of this like action thriller and more of just a violent drama. I think that's kind of what I wanted more from the film, but that's generally what I just enjoy more of in general, because this is a kind of film where when it really went towards like, more of the chase scenes and more of just like trying to, find Ice-T in the woods, I kind of zoned out a little bit. Like it just wasn't really as engaging for me. And I think that's because like ultimately Ernest Dickerson, especially in this film, was just better at bringing out these amazing performances than actually capturing great action and great, I keep saying this word over and over again, but spectacle. So ultimately I felt like it was fun, but just like really uneven. And so I found myself kind of giving it a 3.0. Yeah, I just feel like there was a great film in there, and I wish that it went a little bit, maybe more intelligent. Somehow, if you can find a way of making something more intelligent and more like mean-spirited at the same time, but not necessarily all about like these like fight scenes and explosions, but more just about violence. If that makes any sense at all, so be it. But yeah, I gave it 3.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for joining us once again. Surviving the Game, 1994, Ernest R. Dickerson. I just respect this guy as a director. I think working so much with Spike inspires him, and I appreciate that. You got so many big names in this goon squad of these hunters, which really helped the movie, I think. But I think when you watch it multiple times, you realize that Ice-T I think he's outdoing all those guys who have just been in some classic ass movies up until now. I really think that Busey should have been in longer. I do agree with that with the writer. I think there's a lot of stuff with that gang of hunters, though, like with John C. McGinley's character, who just stares at him and has like that grudge right from the beginning. I don't know. I think it kind of works as you watch it more. I know that budget was an issue. I know Ernest R. Dickerson said that he wanted to really show Ice-T's skills, how they related in the wilderness to the city. So I think that was his point of bringing Burns back to the city. But I really felt like we needed a fucking line from Ice-T in that scene of "You're in my jungle now, motherfucker," or something like that to really just like, all right. And maybe a better end fight. I will say it was kind of on the okay end because you built it all up to this. But I agree with Bones too. I would have liked it to conclude in the woods and then have Ice-T try to pilot a plane out of there. That shit would have been hilarious. But overall, I think great cast. I think great cinematography here. I think the script kind of lacks a little, but like I said, learning that the budget wasn't what they really wanted in the end. I think he made a really decent flick here for what he had to work with, shooting it all on location, shooting it all in real time. It's a 3.5 for me. This is a kind of a nostalgia pick. I watched this as a kid, seen it multiple times on VHS. It was one of the movies my parents were like, yeah, that's fine to rent. There's no titties in it, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, man, 3.5 for me. I enjoy it.
All right,
Howard,
dude.
what do we got?
Surviving the Game would have an average score from the four of us of 3.25. This thing would end up at number 68 on the big list. This would currently be right below Resurrection and right above The Hunger.
Whoa, The Hunger as in the Tony Scott film?
That's correct.
Damn, I love that movie.
That was a pretty early one in the podcast. I don't know if like those scores would still pan out the same way.
I think I gave that, I want to say 4 or 4.5.
I'm a big fan of The Hunger as well.
Yeah, it's so good. That whole opening 10 minutes is just like some of the best filmmaking I've ever seen. That's all
a
that
Bones
matters,
pick.
baby.
That was a Bones
Oh,
pick.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Hey, for every brain scan, I pick a Hunger.
I love it. You got to have the yin and the yang.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, we got it here.
Kron, I got a point. You and Bob got a 0.5.
Wait, what happened?
You got a
You
0.5,
got a
Bob.
Oh, okay.
0.5 for picking Dan's score within
You were 0.5.
0.5 of his score.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So now you got to come back for the rewind and use that 0.5 to add it to a movie later on. Don't ask us questions about that. This show is stupid.
Wait, can I get the thumbs going?
Yeah, doubles. All right.
Oh, no,
in-
I don't know. Someone had the thumb go up. Oh, yeah.
At the end of this round, I would have 7 points, Dan 6.5 points, Bones 7.5 points, Bob 0.5 points.
On the board.
Fuck yeah, Bob. You're on the fucking board, dude.
Respectable.
Here we go. Here we go.
And that, yeah, that puts us pretty in line with the Letterboxd user rating, right? So 3.2.
Yeah, if we were
3.1,
3.25, yeah, it's 3.1 for Letterboxd.
A little over. Bob, please, once again, tell the listener where they can find you.
So YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. It's Split Your Head Podcast. I'm also on Instagram. I've got a Split Your Head Podcast account. And then you can also find Bob McCully on Instagram and Letterboxd. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much
you.
for your time, brother.
Thank you guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. We'll link everything on this episode when it drops.
Cool.
If you'd like to stay for the after shower show, you're more than welcome to see what movies picked next. But if not, you're out the
otherwise-
fucking hook.
It's 12:30. That's my wife. It's 12:30 here, so I will bid you all adieu. But thank you so much. Yeah. And if you ever want to have me back, just let me know.
Oh, I'll be in contact.
Okay. Sounds good. All
I'm sure
right,
there's
guys.
some fucked up shit we can find.
Take
You
care
should
up
let,
there, brother.
you should let me pick a movie. Let me drop a pink film on you.
Oh, Lord.
Get
Oh,
ready.
no.
It's 70 minutes.
Can I make a Cops and Robertson's face?
Cops and Robert. Okay, we'll do Cops and Robertsons in the pink film. Double bill.
Wow.
We'll count you in.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Okay. See
Thanks,
you
man.
guys.
See you,
Yeah,
Bob.
thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Wait, how do I leave this? Oh, there
Just
it is.
hit the X,
All
bro.
right.
Walk out the
Okay.
door.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Later, dude. Folks, that was Bob. Split your head. Check out his shit. It's good stuff. But if you really want to fuck with us, if you're on the socials, do Threads, do Letterboxd, do Instagram. If you're on Apple or Spotify, please rate, review, and follow the show. If you want to send us a question or anything, please do 5dayrentals.podcast@gmail.com. If you got a negative review, send it to that. And we'll respond. And have you guest on the fucking show. Because you're going to talk. You're going to talk through it. But other than that, if you really want to fuck with us, there is a Discord link on every episode of the 5 Day Rentals podcast that is released every Wednesday. So get on there and fuck with Kron Howard. Tell Bones that his hair looks great. And tell me that I got a little fucking dick. But other than that, crash and fucking burn.
Dad.
Crash and burn.
Birds!
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the 5 Day Rentals podcast. This is the after shower segment of the record.
Everything's fucking sticky in here, right?
It's gotta be the maple syrup.
It smells so bad.
I think it smells
Yeah,
good.
I like the smell. It's just fucking.
It just gets in everything.
Yeah.
I feel dirtier now than when we got into the shower.
I'm not a sticky guy. I don't like this. I don't like this.
Guys, we just did
Did that guy
surviving the
leave?
game.
That guy left.
Yeah,
He
he's
stormed
gone.
out of here.
Sticked it up and left.
Filled the shower heads full of maple and got on out of here. We just did surviving the game as part of the wet ass Busey category. Guys, I watched exactly 2 movies preparing for my selection. You could probably guess what they were. I don't know if you know this, but Ernest Dickerson directed a movie called Bulletproof. Now, that movie had Adam Sandler in it. It's not the movie I'm selecting. Gary Busey also happened to make a movie called Bulletproof much earlier. And I got to tell you guys, that's not the movie I'm selecting either. I think we're going to the year 1988. We're going to be watching a little movie called Silver Bullet.
Finally.
A movie I've wanted to bring on this podcast since the early days of season 1. And now we finally get the opportunity. I will say, on my rewatch of Bulletproof, if you guys have the time, it's on Plex in the VHS library. Watch the first 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes is fun as hell. You get everything you need from the movie. You get Butthorn. You get Gary Busey acting like a maniac. But I don't know. On the rewatch, I was like, it's fun, but you get everything you need in the first 15 minutes. I think Silver Bullet's going to have a little bit more to talk about as we go through it.
God damn, Kron. You know I love monster dogs, and you know I love Gary Busey. Yeah, dude. Finally.
Smart choice, bro.
I think it's the right choice.
I agree.
This does have a good bit. Oh, sorry, I gave the year wrong. This is 1985 for Silver Bullet. I looked up too many Bulletproof titled movies. Got myself confused. But yeah, this is a super fun one. Like I said, been wanting to get it on the pod for a while. You get a lot of crazy Busey. You get a fucking rocket-powered wheelchair in this movie. There's a lot of good stuff.
I recall hearing that while filming this movie, Busey would do a take where he would do the script, and then he would do a take that was script plus improv, and pretty much every take in the movie is that second take.
Hell yeah. I'd believe it based on some of his... There's a scene where he's like drinking wild turkey and talking to that kid. Seems like he actually might have gotten some wild turkey on set,
Yeah.
so...
I mean, possibly the coolest uncle ever, right?
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
Yeah, by far.
And who else would you want to fight a fucking werewolf with? Right?
Yeah.
I think it's
what-
the best pick, Kron. I think it was the reason I did this. And you pulled through. Okay?
You
And that
could have
doesn't
picked
happen
it.
very often here on
You-
5 Day Rentals.
You could have picked it, Dan.
Yeah, but I knew we had a text one like Sunday morning that was like, I got drunk last night and ordered Silver Bullet. Never
Mhm.
watched it. Is it any good?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that's a category.
I've watched it since then. Turns out it's fucking good. And
This
we're
is,
going to watch it together.
This is one we had, like my dad had on a VHS tape recorded, like off of a free movie channel preview, whatever it was.
Speaking of, not sure if this thing's available anywhere. Looks like it might be on
That's
Pluto
what I was-
TV. I will, of course, provide a copy.
Which everyone should have.
Yeah, if you could drop it in the G drive, Kron, that'd be great.
I'll do that tomorrow for you, buddy.
No rush. Much appreciated, though.
But there you guys go. Short and sweet. Like I said, you butthorn should watch the first 15 minutes of Gary Busey's Bulletproof. But we will not be covering that. We're covering Silver Bullet.
Might be Bones picks next week.
Nah.
I think mine balances it out.
All right. He's going with Jake Busey, I think.
Starship Troopers.
I could.
5-star banger, bro.
I could, but
Maybe he's going with the movie that like Gary Busey plays a dog with Oz Perkins.
Quigley.
Yeah.
Is that dog hot?
I don't know. Let's just say he's not unattractive.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
And I'm still trying to figure out what kind of dog this guy wants to fuck.